Got it, Shiva? Yeah, thank you, Shiva.
Dear participants, we will begin shortly.
Good morning, ma'am. Just want to check if you can hear me. And
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
And you can see me as well.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm ready.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I, Shilpi Agarwal, on behalf of Center for Management Studies, JAIN deemed to be University, Bangalore, take this opportunity to welcome you all to the second day of AICTE-sponsored 5-day FDP on bridging the gap between academia and industry through advanced pedagogical techniques. I hope you liked the sessions yesterday. We had Dr. Raj Singh, Vice Chancellor, JAIN deemed to be University, Dr. Dinesh Neelkant, Director of CMS and Dean Faculty of Management at JAIN deemed to be University, and Dr. Shushma Kulkarni, Director, Raja Ram Babu Institute of Technology, as our speakers. Take this opportunity to welcome you all to the second day. Before we begin, dear participants, kindly note, according to AICTE guidelines, participants must attend all sessions and maintain 80% overall attendance. Assessment of every session will be done on the last day after the third session. Moreover, it is mandatory to score a minimum of 60% marks and to give feedback on the FDP at AICTE portal. Only after fulfilling attendance, assessment, and feedback parameters, the participants will be eligible for AICTE certificate. The same conditions will apply to attendees who are joining the FDP through YouTube. Certificate of participation will be given to you by JUCMS. Taking the legacy of knowledge sharing forward, we present to you our first speaker for today, Ms. Shrikala. Before we begin the session, a small announcement. The session is for 1 hour, followed by Q&A for half an hour. Please post your questions on the session in the chat box and keep your video on throughout the session. Videos for the session will be available on JUCMS YouTube channel. The link for the same is posted in the chat box. Please note, tomorrow the FDP will begin at 9 a.m. Please log in by 8:50 a.m. Over to Dr. Supriya. She will introduce our first speaker. Ma'am, you can unmute yourself.
Hello. Yeah, Shilpi. Thank you, Shilpi ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, let me introduce today's speaker. Ms. Shrikala has around 16 years of experience in the corporate industry and holds a variety of experience across product and service domains in stellar organizations. She is currently the Director of Program Management at American Express Technology. Ms. Shrikala is PMP ISTQB certified and has been a regular trainer for senior managers at various forums in the industry. She has also written various papers for global conferences like QAI, Step In Summit, etc. An engineer from the prestigious BMS College, Bangalore, she is a self-driven individual and has a passion to teach. Ms. Shrikala also co-founded Robocool Inc. in 2010 as a hobby to bring in robotics awareness in children. This venture made her the recipient of prestigious scholarship in 2011 by the Goldman Sachs and Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. That is a recognition given to the top 120 women potential entrepreneurs in the country in a year. Winning over 300 awards in various decades, she was awarded the crowning, that is, Governor's Award for Excellence in Karnataka in the year 2000. She also volunteers as a youth faculty for the Art of Living Foundation and uses her skills toward empowerment programs. With immense honor and respect, I welcome Ms. Shrikala to address the participants and attendees on the topic Management of Stress. Dear participants, since it's a technical session, again, you're all requested to keep your video on till the end. Thank you. Over to ma'am.
Thank you very much, Supriya ma'am, as well as Shilpi ma'am. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed very nice to start the morning on such a fantastic topic. And why do I say this? Because, we all have routines that we run through in our life, right? And while we are running through the routines, one thing that tends to keep accumulating without even our knowledge is stress, right? So imagine starting off the day with the knowledge on knowing how to manage this. What can be more meaningful than that, right? So with that said, I'd like to get started with the presentation. Also a small update on my profile. I'm recently in between transitions, so I've moved on from American Express and I'm looking to take up my new assignment in the next couple of days. But with that said, let me quickly check if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Right now, you should be able to see my browser.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we can see your screen.
Very good. So the session that we're going to spend together over the next 60 minutes and even beyond is going to be an interactive session, right? And we are going to learn some techniques. We are going to be learning some key tools that we will be using, and for which I would like to see it when you do it. And that's the reason we definitely need you to keep your cameras on. That was the request that we had made to the college as well. So without any further delay, right? Normally, when we talk of stress management, right, or managing stress in various different ways, what does it fundamentally imply? It fundamentally implies that stress can be managed, right? A lot of us think that, oh, I am so stressed, it is so difficult for me and all of that, but it looks very out of hand, right? But the truth is that stress can be managed, which is why we're even taking it up as a topic today. So that's good news, right? So Shilpi ma'am, if I may request that you can put me in spotlight, then it'll be easier for the audience to just to look. And also if you can make me co-host so that in case of an activity, I can use the option to put them into breakout rooms or chat.
Yeah, ma'am, technical team will take care of it.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, Shilpi ma'am. Okay, so with that said, let's get started. Okay, I'd like to understand first, right? What is your opinion about stress? What do you think is stress? Feel free to unmute and share. What do you think is stress according to you? Anybody?
Ma'am, I couldn't take pressure, ma'am. When we overloaded, when we couldn't take pressure, I think it is called stress.
Very nice perspective. So
I feel overthinking is stress.
Overthinking is stress. Okay, very interesting. Overthinking, you're trying to do something, but something is not happening, which means there is an outcome which is not according to what you want. Okay, very nice. What else is stress? Yes, I see. I see Amudam raising their hand. Vito, Chandrakala, please feel free to unmute and answer. Okay, let's start in alphabetical order. Yes, please.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, I think stress is when we are not able to think. It is not, I think, overthinking, when we are not able to have that clarity in mind.
Very nice.
Whatever concepts is there, it is intermingling with each other and we are not able to think in a focused way. I think it is that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so beautiful because it's a circle. Have you seen that when you are very stressed, you can't think? And if you're overthinking also, you get stressed. So it's like this vicious cycle that keeps happening throughout. Yeah. Okay. Very nice. Who else?
This is.
Yes. Did we lose your audio?
It's basically.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. So let's start with Dr. K. Tirumagal first because she has started talking, and then we will go to the next.
Good morning, ma'am. Psychological perception of pressure, we can say stresses.
Psychological perception of pressure.
Perception
Very
of
nice.
pressure.
Right. So you're saying that there is some form of a perception. Sometimes it may be real, sometimes it may not be real, but there is a
Yes,
perception that there is a problem. Okay, very nice. Yes, there was another person who had started.
Yeah, ma'am, this is Dr. Maulin.
Yes, Dr.
There are
Maulin.
two things to be seen from the perspective of stress.
Mhm.
First one, when I don't achieve what I want,
Okay,
that gives a lot of pressure. Why am I not performing well?
absolutely.
Number two, that emotional content which is involved in that.
Mhm. Absolutely. So do you see that for every action that you do, a byproduct automatically comes as a bunch of emotions, right? So that is what we call as emotional stress as well. Very nice points, very beautiful perspective. Yes, we also have some answers on the chat which says it is tension, it is frustration, it is about getting angry, unable to cope up with mental and emotional pressure, not being able to do things we planned for, inability to meet our self-made expectations. Absolutely. Beautiful. Any more answers? Couple of answers, and all of you are right.
Ma'am, not accomplishing within the time framework.
Within the time frame, yes.
Yeah.
If somebody told me that I can take however long I want to get my degree, then there is considerably less pressure as compared to you have to finish your degree in 3 years, right? But of course, do you also notice that while you have pressure within a time frame, even if you leave it very, very open-ended, also there is pressure. Sometimes we've all had this situation where, something is gnawing at the back of your head. Something is constantly going on. I can see a lot of people smiling. Yes, yes, yes. Especially when your maid is not coming. And, you've been allocated the task of washing a kitchen sink full of vessels. And you have all your assignments to finish as well. Something at the back of your head says, oh, I have to finish this before I sleep. I have to finish this. I have the entire day, but it's actually draining. Yes. So both ways, when you have something that is clogging, then what happens? Stress automatically starts building up. We have meters to say that, if you're eating too much sugar, you can get diabetic. If you're going to be losing your temper very often, or if you're going to be eating a lot of junk, processed, salty food with a lot of oil in it, you can possibly develop blood pressure, right? Or if you're not exercising, then you could run into obesity. You have all of these. But for stress, if you see, it is not like a one formula, right? It is not like a one formula, right? You don't even realize that it's connecting up in small bits every single time, every single day. And before you realize it, you're in a situation where you have to manage stress. Somebody asked me in one of the earlier FDPs, can stress be eliminated? Well, if you manage it very well, then you will not realize its existence in life. Yeah, but let us see how. So in short, if you actually see, when we talk of stress, what are we talking about, right? We're talking about you have too much to accomplish in too little time. And a lot of you covered this aspect. You have too much to do, but too little time, right? You have too much to do and you have too less energy, right? More or less, if you see, we have things that we want to do in our life, that we have to do in our life, and that we want to do in our life, right? Everybody, in the crowd that we are in, we have our certain roles to play at work. We have the roles that we have to do with the management, with our peer staff, and with our students. And there are some things that we want to do. So apart from this routine, we also like to travel. We also like to go for walks. We also like to spend extra time with the family. We also want to do painting. We also want to do baking. You want to do maybe music classes, dance classes. You want to play sport. Do you see that? There is so much to do. But your time is a fixed parameter. Now, this nobody can change, right? You exactly have 24 hours, just like everybody else, right? So this is your first parameter. Second thing, too much to do, too less energy. You want to do all of this, but it's like one of those Glucon-D ads where you're finishing at the end of the day, you're like, some other time. Has it happened to all of us? It happens to all of us, right? You might have the time to do it. How does it happen? There are many times now I'm in a break from one assignment to another. And, when my first day of vacation started, I had this entire to-do list, right? But one day into the vacation, what do most of us think? Hey, chal yaar, chhod. We'll get this done some other time. This particular weekend, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to relax. Has it happened? Yeah. Where you have all the time in the world, but the energy is not there. The third situation when you run into stress is what? You have too much to decide, but too less clarity. Pretty much more or less, if you see what we all want to accomplish, will remain more or less on a certain path, right? And then you have too much to decide. You're making decisions at home, you're making decisions at work, you're making decisions with your students, you're making decisions with respect to the society, you're making decisions with respect to your locality, you're making decisions with respect to the country if required. Yeah. So you have too many things to decide, but very little clarity on how to go about it, right? And then what happens? Too much to stabilize, too less grounding. All of us, the great Indian settled. Yeah. We love being settled in life. We want to stabilize in a lot of areas. We want to become great at our teaching. We want to become great at managing our personal finances. We want to become great at, at buying a house and making sure that the EMIs are not running into a problem, right? You have too much to stabilize in various aspects of your own life, but very little grounding. Yeah. And then what do we have? We have too much to grow and too less confidence, right? We want to do a lot of things. Yeah. You possibly want to do much, much bigger things in life as well. And you're already doing great, but you want to do much more. What happens? No, this cause possibly could be difficult with me. Maybe I'm not made for it. Yeah. Tell somebody that, if you've already touched 40, then after that, you tell them, come on, let's start running. Let's become a marathoner. What will people say? No, yeah, not possible for me. I find it so funny that when people come and tell me they have a lot of stress, and I tell them, why don't you attend one of our stress management programs, learn the Sudarshan Kriya, learn how to manage stress. It's not for me. Yeah. Then for whom? This is like a doctor telling people, I can prescribe paracetamol to everybody, but not for me. Yeah. Why? We make all these judgments. Why? Because we don't have confidence in our own self. And what happens when all of this happens? Stress is slowly coming up from all these areas of your life. And before you realize what has happened is that you realize that success is inversely proportional to stress. There was a time when we used to say success was about, being somebody known in the society, being, making this much money, having a nice 3 BHK in the heart of Bangalore, possibly, or a 4 BHK or a villa or whatever your aspiration is. Yeah. We have come down as a society to a situation where we are saying, if you can be peaceful at the end of the day with whatever you're achieving, you can be called successful, right? But let's understand that it is the same peace, calmness that we're talking about is a result of what? Managing your stress well. And if you can do that, then successful automatically comes. See, if you're a happy person, if you're a calm, contented person, right? Do you realize that you're a happier person at home? People like to stay with you at home. Yeah. How many of you have had your spouse telling you, my God, why did this work from home start? Why don't you just go back to your college? We'll get some peace at home. It happened. No. See the number of smiles on the screen. Don't worry, we are in this together. Yeah. How many times have you had your children telling, why don't you just go? It's okay. Give your students some additional assignments. If you want, you only write the answers to those assignments, but just go out of the house for some time. Yeah. If you have a very intelligent spouse, they will keep sending you outside to buy vegetables once a while. Yeah. This also happens. Why? Because you don't know how to consolidate that peace, that calmness. There are many people I've heard telling me, oh, I'm very good at work. I'm very happy at work. But personal life may I get hit. Why? If you are a calm person inside, then that calmness will come in every aspect of life. It is not just one aspect of life. Have you realized it? See, this is a bottle of water I have with me. Now, this bottle of water, if it has good water, it will be good water whether I use it to make my chutney, whether I use it to make lemon juice, whether I use it to make what else, pani puri, whether I use it to just drink like that. Yes or no? Are you with me? Is everybody here, or have you slept off? Yeah. So what happens? If the water inside is clean, it will reflect in everything that I do. If the water inside is dirty, you cannot say only lemon juice will come out well, pani puri will not come out well, or only chutney will come out well, others will not come out well. No, same loose motions will happen if you drink it. Yes or no? Yeah, that's the secret. The secret sauce of a happy life is to learn how to manage stress. And why am I stressing this so much? Why am I stressing that stress can be managed? Because it can. And this could be a game changer, right? Like when I started on this path of, managing stress and understanding, I definitely feel this is one of the best investments I've made when I was 23. Yeah, at that point of time, anyway, we'll come to it. We'll come to some more spicy stories towards the later part of the talk. Let's first get the fundamentals concept. I mean, all of you are teachers, all of you are educators, you know it. Yeah, you just don't go and write something on the board. You make sure that your students have got the concept right, so that then whatever question paper you set, you're proud of them cracking it. Yeah, so that's typically how this concept of stress management works. Yeah, Guruji Sri Ravi Shankar, of the founder of the Art of Living Foundation, says that, see, everybody, when you have too much to do, too little energy. Yeah, too much that you want in life, but too little aspiration or confidence, and all those factors that we spoke about, then stress takes over. Yeah. So now that we know how stress, because some people, they will come and say, oh, we don't have any stress in life. And then you put them in front of that JAIN University signal over there in that corner where vehicles are coming from 4, and 2 people jump the signal and land up in front of your car to check what will happen. They are firing everybody on the road. Yes or no? Why? Water is not clean. Yeah. Then others will come and say, oh, if we come and learn about stress management, does it mean we are depressed? No, yeah, you can be a happier person. No, who's stopping you? Yeah. Have we told you're allowed to have only 126.8 grams of happiness in your life? No. You're eligible to have as much as you want. And when does that happen? When you've learned the art of managing stress. It's just an art. You just have to learn it. And then it's like that. Very, very simple. Okay. So now I want to understand, we spoke about everything being constant. The only thing that changes is energy, right? We all have 24 hours. We all more or less have similar goals that we have to, similar routines of work that we have to finish. All of that being there. Why is it that some people are happier than the others? Why is it that some people accomplish more than the others? Right? Why is it that some people are able to do more than the others? The answer is that they just have more energy than you. Yes or no? Yeah. Everything else being constant, what is the only thing that is changing? Is the level of energy. So when you're done with your routine, and then you have that little extra that you need to do to become successful in life, at that point of time, if your energy gives heart, if your energy ditches you, what happens? Somebody else who has that energy will take over. And this is not just about competition. This is not about competition at all, in fact. It is about all these aspects in life that we are talking about, right? So where do you get your energy from? Typically, where do you get your energy from? Come on, tell me. Unmute and share. Where do you get your energy from? Yes. Amudam Balasubramaniam has raised their hand. Please share. Yes, Amudam. Where do you get your energy from?
From my family.
From your family.
Children, yes. If my children are okay and everything in my family is okay, I'm usually energized.
Very good. So as long as your children are eating whatever you cook and they're not asking you for an entirely different dish for which you don't have ingredients at home, nor the patience, then you're very happy with your family. Okay. So what does that do? When you say, I am getting my happiness from your family, what are you talking about? You're talking that you have a very...
Yeah, if my family support my career and they don't disturb me and I don't disturb them also, then everything is in peace. I'm coming from outside. If everything okay in my home, if I set up everything right in my home, I feel happy and
Did you just see that specification list?
Which specification list?
Did you just see that specification list? Amudam, thank you so much for opening up such a brilliant topic. Which subject do you teach?
I'm teaching civil engineering.
Civil engineering. Wow. Let's talk of strength of materials then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you see that the number of materials required and the weightage given to each one of these?
Yeah.
SOM was one subject I thoroughly enjoyed when I was doing mine.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm muting myself. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Right. Did you see the specification list? We all have these conditions, by the way. If huge list of if comes, if everything is followed, then I shall certify this. Yes,
ma'am, I have one thing to tell, madam.
Yes, Dr. Umakant.
Ma'am, energy comes by what we do, and energy comes from what we do and how we do the things, and how our mind thought process. Energy comes from
Very
that.
nice. Very nice. So did you see the link between both what they said? Thank you very much, Dr. Umakant. So the whole idea is, why do you like the things that you said? You know, certain things that we do, certain things that we like, certain people make us happy. Yeah. When you're with your children, you're happy. Why? Because it takes you to a happy state of mind. Yes or no? When you have let me just complete this. I'm coming to you. Yeah. So, you know, we also have answers coming on chat, which just comes from motivation. It depends on what you're doing and all of that. I get my energy from a healthy body. Absolutely. We're coming to that. Right. So definitely a happy and a healthy state of mind is one source of energy. Yeah. If you're happy at home with your in-laws and your spouse, you're in a happy state of mind. Then there is less stress. But if it is the other way, there is a problem. Yes or no? Yeah. So definitely a happy state of mind is one source of energy. Very good. What are the other sources of energy?
I guess self-motivation is something, ma'am. Like if I have ticked off everything from my to-do list, I know what is my goal, both short-term and long-term, and I know how to achieve them. And the motivation is it's from myself, for myself, definitely not from my family. I mean, like those are the external stimulant. At the end of the day, myself.
Absolutely. So we are going to classify all of this into a happy state of mind. Okay. Now let's talk about some tangible sources of energy. What other sources of energy do you have for you to exist?
Ma'am, usually, hello?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, usually I do pranayam because
very nice. Pranayam, very beautiful. We are going to come to that in detail, right? So when you talk about pranayam, what yes, please.
What makes you happy and satisfied? Say, for example, if you're giving 100%, or maybe if you are satisfied by doing things like which makes you happy. So that is again one of the main source which will help you to reduce the stress level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I like I said, all examples to do with happiness, we have classified as a happy state of mind. Okay. Now, other than this, what are the sources of energy? You know, one of you spoke about pranayam, right? One of you spoke about meditation. Yes, we're coming to that. Very beautiful. So we have one person on the chat telling me that food is a source of energy. Absolutely. Right? In fact, that is the first source of energy. Right? So all you enlightened people, if you don't get 2 meals in a day, then let's see where all your happy state of mind goes. And if that particular meal has extra salt or no salt, then we shall talk about it. Yes or no? Yeah. So food is definitely one of the first source of energy. You know, we deal with it in detail in our Sudarshan Kriya program, where we talk about how much one should be eating, how should they be eating, so that that converts into a form of energy and doesn't become a drain on your system. You know, food which can energize you can also drain you if you're not eating the right type of food, if you're not consuming it the right way, if it is not cooked the right way. Yeah, a lot of Swiggy can actually derail you in your energy versus energizing you. Yeah, so definitely food is a big source of energy. Food, water, you know, that entire segment where something is going inside the mouth, that is a big source of energy. What is the second source of energy? Yes, I see a lot of people talking about oxygen, deep breathing, yoga. So, you know, feel free to send the response to everyone. A lot of you are sending me on personal chat, which is okay with me. But when you send answers, others are also going to be able to see what you're sharing. Okay. Oh, it's not enabled. Okay. Okay. So is it possible that we can have that enabled, ma'am? Shilpi, ma'am? Or anyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. If you can just make the chat enabled to everyone, then we can possibly have answers coming out that everyone.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. You know, such beautiful answers coming in, and I have to read them, right? So playing with children, talking with friends, playing like a child or physical activity, so important. Have you seen, even as adults, when we play so formally. Yeah, it's like, you know, I used to, my grandfather was very famous for one thing. Children are playing, and we've all had these grandfathers in our lives. Okay, and hopefully we've not become one of them on those fronts. And grandparents are always very, very fond to be with. So, you know, my grandfather will allow all of us to play in the compound. But by chance, if somebody's playing cricket outside and the ball comes inside, you know, he used to take it and keep it off, and he'll say, "Don't play near the window." Yeah. So even as adults, have we become serious in our playing, or do we play like children? Have you seen children? They will drop the ball, but they will scream in joy. Yeah. But as adults, even if we have to laugh, what do we do? You're so conscious even to laugh, dil se. They say belly full of laughter. We've become such serious people, no? And then we say, oh, stress has come to me. No, you have invited it with tambula to your house. Yeah. Okay. So food is one source of energy. The second source of energy is sleep. Yeah. Sleep is another big source of energy. Either if you're sleeping too less or you're sleeping too much, both are a problem. Yeah. I'm sure all of you must have had these moments where, you know, you have an exam, or, you know, you're setting up stuff for your students. And what is happening is that you're working all night, possibly trying to get something going. And then you're correcting papers, you're doing it, you know, very, very time bound. You're not sleeping enough. What happens? One day, okay. 2 days, okay. Third day, you're fighting and screaming at everybody. Has it happened? Yeah, you're very irritable. One small trigger and that's it. The lid is blowing off. Yeah. So sleep is another source of energy. The third source of energy is definitely what we spoke about, you know, the happy state of mind. And we've spoken about it in detail. And I'm so happy that such lovely answers are coming. Yeah. Experiencing the bounties of nature gives me energy. Absolutely. Why? Because it takes you to that happy state of mind. And then the fourth source of energy is the pranayama that you were talking about, the breath. Yeah. Have you noticed, see, how much of food do you eat in a day? Yeah, come on, let me ask you guys. I know if all of you are on dieting, this is the time for you to not hide it. Yeah. How much food do you eat in a day? About 1 kilo, 1.5 kilos. Yeah. If you have very, very good friends in your life, like BP, sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, thyroid, all of these good friends in your life, will possibly eat a little less or slightly differently, right? But let's take it on an average. We eat about 1 kilo of food, water, all of that. Yes. If you're somebody like me, then you'll definitely eat a lot more. Okay. Then how much sleep, do you have per day? About 6-7 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah, 8 hours is great, right? So how long can you stay without food? How long can you stay without food? If you're fasting, if you're doing Ekadashi, if you're doing, if you're just praying for that salary raise, and you've decided to bribe some god around you, yeah, maybe you'll stay for 1 day without food or a couple of days. Yeah,
not more than that.
How much, Shilpi ma'am?
1 day, not more than that.
1 day, not more than that. Beyond that, no vrat is worth it. Now you just eat and finish it off. You give me what you want to give types. Yeah, correct. So 1 day, right? And then you have, how long can you stay without sleep? 2 days, max 3 days. You'll push it, but you can't stay. Yeah. How long can you stay without the breath? 1 day, not more than that. No, few hours, please, for my sake. Chalo, I will talk to God and get you the promotion that you've been looking for. Yeah. Can you please stay without breathing for just a few minutes, please? Does it work? No. Are you with me? Yeah. Ajay Singh ji, are you with me? Yeah. We cannot stay without the breath even for a moment. Right? Did you know that we breathe in and breathe out 10,000 liters of air every single day?
Yes, without breathe, we cannot stay.
Absolutely.
A single minute.
Not even a minute.
Yes.
No, touch wood. Hopefully, none of you have been in the situation where you are running around for oxygen concentrators or oxygen cylinders. Then you will know the value of every breath that you take. We've been volunteering from the Art of Living Foundation for the COVID Seva. And we've had such upsetting calls where people tell us, you know what? We have oxygen just available for the next 3 hours. Can you please get us a cylinder? And every breath matters over there. But because it is so easily available to us, we have taken it for granted. Has it happened? How many of you are aware that you're breathing right now? Breathing? Oh yeah, I'm breathing. Has it happened? Yeah. When you get hungry, you say, no, I'm really hungry. Hashu aagta hai, uta beku nange. Yeah, bhook lagi hai abhi. Khana de do. Yeah. When you're hungry, you're identifying. When you're sleepy, what will you do? Even if I'm giving one of the best talks, you will close your laptop like this and go. Chalo, baad mein I will talk to Shilpi ma'am and find out what she's talking now. I need to sleep. Yeah, because you give so much value to all of that. But how many very nice. See, Mr. Murugeshan has put it there. Not always realizing breath, but it's automated to go on. Yes, thankfully it is automated. Otherwise, imagine what would have happened. One day you will come and say, I am so stressed, I don't feel like eating today. I am so stressed, I don't feel like breathing today. Damal, over story. Thankfully, it is automated. God also realized, yeah, that, we shouldn't allow man to make this into a process. Otherwise, gone. They're also gone. Thankfully, he automated the whole process. Yeah. In software engineering, that book, Ian Somerville. Anybody read it here? One of my favorite books with a black cover. For those of you in computer science or information science, that's a very famous book that you will have. Yeah, process automation. Yeah, very nice. So how much are we giving importance to breath? The very fact that simply because we are breathing, we take it for granted and therefore we don't breathe right. Children use almost their entire capacity of their lungs. Now I'm going to give you a secret. Is everybody here? Wake up, wake up. Is everybody here full attention? Okay. Did you know that as adults, we use just 30% of our lungs? Just 30% of our lungs. Okay. And if you're like a very fitness freak, 40. If you're in the army, you're training like those commandos, 50-55% of your lungs capacity is what an adult uses. Yeah. Don't even ask me what are the statistics for people who smoke, who don't exercise. who are very happy in front of the laptop whole day. Don't even ask me those numbers. You know it. You calculate it and you decide what you want to do about it. Yeah. And did you know that 70 to 80% of your body's toxins go out through the breath? This was the biggest realization for me when I started pranayama and yoga. Yeah. 70 to 80% of toxins in your body go out through the breath. What are we doing by not breathing right? You are making the whole system that eliminates toxins from your body into a block. Yes or no? Yeah. Now, how do you learn how to fix it? Is through some mindful breathing. When you do pranayama, when you do yoga, when you do mindful meditation, dhyana is what? When you're completely aware of it and you're learning powerful techniques like the Sudarshan Kriya, yeah, then you are maximizing the effect of your lung capacity. And when you're breathing right, what happens? Here comes secret number 2. Have you noticed that on days that you are very, very tired, physically very, very tired, say you've had like a very long day, back then when physical classes were there, you're standing for 8-9 hours and teaching. In fact, on online, I'm sure it is more tiring, no? What do you say? On online, during your online classes, the screen fatigue is actually hitting. Yeah. So imagine you've had a very long day. You're continuously teaching. And then what happens? Towards the end, your body is tired. Have you seen at that point of time, if somebody comes and irritates you, what happens to them? That's it. Pudina chutney will happen. Yeah, fire, absolute fire. Pallavi says it is fire. It is. It is a huge anger problem. Yeah. Why? Because when the body is tired, when the body is tired, the mind also becomes very distorted. At the same time, have you observed that if you've had a fight at home or with your best friend or your loved ones or somewhere in the office, if your mind is upset, right, then what happens? Your body also feels weak, tired. What happens when you're very upset? What do you say? Tell people, my head is aching. Yeah, I'm just going to go and sleep now. Oh, I'm not feeling too good. I'm not coming out anywhere. Has it happened to all of us? Yeah. Right? You don't like to do anything. Why? Because the body also becomes tired. That means there is a direct connection between your physical fitness and your mental fitness. Now comes case study number 2. Okay. Imagine you're sitting in your favorite beach, whichever it is. Okay. So let's ask Dr. Prabhu Sankar, which is your favorite beach? Tell us, when have you last been to a beach? Which is your favorite beach? You have to unmute, sir. Okay, I think sir is not able to unmute. Yes, sir. Which is your favorite beach?
Madam, the beach I visited very long time. So
yes.
Maybe I think Andaman and Nicobar.
And wow, look at, even if it has been a long time, you've given us a very classical, beautiful example. Very good, Dr. Prabhu Sankar. You've given me my travel goals once things open up. Yeah. So imagine that you're sitting, in the beaches of Andaman and Nicobar. Okay. And Dr. Prabhu Sankar is very happy. Right. And then what happens? You have the best scenarios, and then he gets that one phone call that he doesn't like to get. Okay. From somebody, who's some other professor or somebody who says, Dr. Prabhu Sankar, how can you take a vacation now? Don't you know that the internals are coming, the tests are coming? How can you be staying in Nicobar? Right? And random firing happens. What happens at that point of time? How is Dr. Prabhu Sankar going to be breathing? He's on the phone. He cannot get up and do anything. Yeah, let me come back. Then I will talk about it. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? The breathing to yes, is it? Oh, Dr. Prabhu Sankar, I hope I haven't got you into trouble with anybody.
So it all happens, madam, day to day.
It all happens. Very
unless
nice.
we don't have a controlled mind, then mind will react whatever
Exactly. So beautiful. And did you see that when the mind reacts, the breath also changes? When you're angry, you breathe in a certain way. When you're calm, you breathe in a certain way. That means there's a direct link between the breath and the mind. Yes or no? Now look at this combination. This is like one of those love triangles. The breath, the mind, and the body are linked. If your breath, if your body and your mind can influence the way you breathe, then the way you breathe can also influence your state of body and your mind. That is exactly what is called as pranayama. How do you do it? In fact, I have a Sudarshan Kriya program starting tomorrow morning. And one of the key things that we do, and if any of you are interested, you're welcome to please attend the Sudarshan Kriya program. I'll tell you, every 2 weeks, I teach a program. Right? Every 2 weeks, I teach a program, just teaching people how to breathe out stress through the Sudarshan Kriya, powerful breathing technique. And what we have seen is that every time you tell people, hey, this is a right way to breathe, suddenly something opens up in them. Right? Just by beautifully becoming aware of how you're breathing can change things in the way you look at it. And that is why I said this, I feel, is one of the best investments I have done when I was 23. I never imagined at that point of time, the moment I said I'm going to learn pranayama meditation, what was the first thing I heard at home? Hey, you're going to become a sannyasi. What happened to you? Why are you doing it? But the truth is, if you don't learn all of this, when you have a lot to do in life, then what's the point? Yeah. So what we're going to do now is to experience this. Do you want to experience this? Do you want to experience what it is to just breathe mindfully and do something? If it is yes, we will do it. Otherwise, if it is no, we can get on to one of those random Q&A sessions. Okay, very good. Because Finu has raised her hand, and I'm going to take it because Finu was one of my childhood friends. Not this Finu, but another Finu. But Finu, good to know you here as well. Okay, so let's do a little bit of pranayama. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is to first just shake off your hands a bit. Shake your hands a bit. Let's exercise a little. All of you have been looking at me for the last 48 minutes now. Yeah, shake your hands a bit. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Shake, 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 shake. Now just massage a little bit of your head. If your hairstyle is gone, don't worry. We're all going to have our hairstyles gone. Yeah, use your fingertips and just give yourself a little massage. Okay. Nod your head, up and down, left to right, left to right, left to right. Keep doing it. Up and down, and relax. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a very, very simple pranayama. It's called the Brahmari pranayama. Okay. This is something that you can do if, there is a lot of anxiety coming in, a lot of thoughts in your head. You don't know what to decide. You don't know what to think. The Brahmari pranayama is a very, very simple and a very powerful pranayama. So for this, what we're going to do is to just keep your index finger on the little flap of your ear. Entrance of the ear, you have a little flap. Okay, not this one. This is for your teachers to hold you. This one. Yeah. So you're going to keep it there. And as you breathe in and as you breathe out, you will make the sound of a humming bee. Right now, don't close your ears. You listen to me so that you know the instruction, and then we will all do it together. So as you breathe out, you will make the sound of a humming bee, which is But while doing that, you will also move your index finger. You will open and close that little flap. Okay. So how will it be? Breathe in. And as you breathe out, till you run out of breath. Is that okay? Shall we all do this? Simple. Yeah. Those of you who have headphones, it's going to be a little challenging for you. So we will do it 5 times. If you want to, you can remove your headphones. 5 times do it and then put your headphones back in. Okay. I will give you the instructions. So let's all sit. After this, we will do a short meditation. Okay. We will do a short meditation. Just continue to keep your eyes closed throughout for the next 10 to 12 minutes. Is that okay? Is that okay with everybody? Don't look at your phones. Don't look at your laptops. Just close your eyes. I'm going to be here. Everybody else is as well going to be here. Okay. So let's sit comfortably and easily. Keep the spine erect. Let's get ready with your Brahmari Pranayama. Take a normal breath in and breathe out. Now take a deep breath in for Brahmari. One more deep breath in. One more deep breath in. And as you breathe out, make the sound. One more deep breath in. And as you breathe out, one more deep breath in. And breathe out. Relax. Palms on your thighs, open and facing the ceiling. Keep the eyes closed. And just become aware of the sensations in the body. See how there are sensations in the face region. We'll do a short meditation. Keep the eyes closed. Feel free to take off your spectacles if you feel like. Keep a big smile on the face. Now, all you have to do is to just listen to the instructions very, very innocently. No extra effort to be done. Keep the eyes closed, body relaxed. Take a deep, long breath in and breathe out. One more deep, long breath in. And breathe out completely. Keep a nice big smile on the face. Even if it is fake, keep the smile. Take a nice deep long breath in. And breathe out completely. Keep the smile on the face. Right now, there is nothing that you need to do. Take a deep, long breath in and breathe out. Become aware of the sensations in the body. Any stiffness, any tightness, any aches and pains, whatever may it be, it's okay. There is nothing that you need to change or fix right now. Take a deep, long breath in and breathe out. One more deep, long breath in and breathe out completely. Become aware of your thoughts, positive or not so positive. Just let it be. There is no need to change anything right now. Just observe your thought. Welcome every thought. Take a deep, long breath in and breathe out. One more deep, long breath in and breathe out completely. Now become aware of your feelings and emotions, pleasant or unpleasant. Whatever may it be, there is no need to change anything at all. Just become aware of it. Take a deep, long breath in and breathe out completely. body absolutely still like a statue and just become aware of your thoughts and emotions right now. You are peace. You are joy. Just become aware that something inside of you has slowed down, is slowly settling down. Something inside of you has become calm and quiet. Just become aware of that. Take a deep, long breath in and breathe out. Take another nice, deep, long breath in. And breathe out completely. Slowly and gradually. Whenever you feel complete, at your own pace, without any rush, you may open your eyes. Nice. Good. Good. Okay. Bad. I don't know. Yeah. See, we've hardly done like 6 minutes, 7 minutes. And what have we done? We have just done breathing in and breathing out. Very nice. Look at the chat. Now, all of you should share your experience. See, feels so good. Yeah, very nice. The world seems brighter. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, when you have a positive state of mind, you directly influence everybody around you. Yeah, that's the beauty. When I first did my course, I had no clue what I was getting into, right? When I got into pranayama and meditation, I was wondering why I'm doing it. I mean, I'm anyway breathing. What's the big deal? But once I started, I realized that life became so full. Life became so full because it is so easy to just manage stress. And what I did personally see is that when you manage stress very well, you grow in all aspects of life. And it's not like, you know, we are landed from heaven, something different happens. No, I have 2 little brats who are playing right now and fighting outside the door. One is 10, one is 7. Yeah. So it happens. I also have like a full-time job. You know, I teach. All of that happens. But in all of this, how are you? You know, there's no English word to this. Loosely translated, it's called essence. But if you want to get the ras out of life, you know, the rasa out of life, then it only happens when you are calm, energized, composed, and most importantly, happy. Do you agree? Otherwise, whatever happens, you know, it still remains very dhila, you know, very mediocre. So with that said, we pretty much come to the end of our stress management session. I'm of course open to all your questions now. And let's shoot. Let's hear your questions. Feel free to unmute, and then I will also give you some information towards the end. Yes. Yes, Aniket, you have a question? Please feel free to unmute and ask.
Yeah, hi, ma'am. Very good morning. Ma'am, actually, I just wanted to know, like, how can we divert our mind?
Sorry, Mr. Aniket, if you don't mind, could you please repeat it? I had actually put it in low volume because of the music. I'm back in my volume. Can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, hi. Very good morning. Actually, I just wanted to know, like, how can we divert our mind? Like, we used to think about our health, and it used to say that when we are thinking, it happens to us. So when we are thinking that I am ill, I am getting ill.
Yeah.
So for that reason, how to divert from that thought process?
Very beautiful question. And this is such a beautiful question. We have an entire program on this, in fact. Diverting the mind is a very, very temporary solution, right? How long can you divert yourself, right? It becomes the story of you trying to, something is upsetting here, you hear, like, for example, COVID. When COVID was happening, all of us were worried for our families, for ourselves. So what do you do to divert your mind? You start doing something else. Then you do something else, then you do something else. And then before you realize, you're going from pillar to post. But the solution is to accept it. Yes, this is how it is. And do what is needed to be done for it. And at that point of time, that courage comes when you are deeply rooted with a larger perspective of life. Yeah. So when we were when the COVID second surge happened, so my husband and I, we were in the thick of hospitals, because we were bridge between distribution of oxygen concentrators in Bangalore, as well as the hospitals. And they were all completely government hospitals providing free treatment to the poor. It is only with those hospitals that, Art of Living has been supplying oxygen concentrators. How much can you divert your mind? The moment you walk in, you're only seeing people crying, scared, fear, right? So the best is to accept it. Yes, there is a problem. We have to face it, right? And then what? Use tools like pranayama, which give you the courage. So we've been teaching, every day we've been teaching pranayama and meditation to people. So many, we've covered like 1,000. Now we don't even count, because that's not our intention. It's not a target we have. We just want people to know that there is a way out of fear, right? So I would say that accepting what is happening and figuring out a solution to confront it is a much better solution than diverting. Diverting you can do for temporary stuff. Like, when children cry, we divert their mind. They'll keep crying, I want chocolate. What will you do? You will divert their mind to another game. They will do it. As adults, if we do it, stress comes in. Yeah, very nice. So I'm just going to pick up some more questions that are coming in. What should be the timing of... Yeah, can I just take a couple of questions from the chat and then I'll come back to the session? Is that okay with everybody? Yeah. So what is the best way to manage our time and at work? So like I said, you have the same 24 hours. The only way to do it is to increase your energy levels. My day starts at 4 and till 10 in the night, I'm able to run with the same amount of energy. Simply why? Because see, all of us know the concept of investments, right? Basic investment, you put it in a bank in a money, that is that much investment, right? You put 10 rupees, it gives you 12 rupees or 16 rupees later based on whatever is your interest rates, right? So like that, I invest time in pranayama, yoga, and meditation. That makes sure that it increases my efficiency. So what happens? Stuff that I would normally take 8 hours to finish, I'm able to manage in 6 hours. And then I have the energy, which just means I have more time in my plate to do more other things, right? What should be the timing for pranayama, morning or evening? There is no restriction for pranayama. Whenever you feel you need energy. See, prana is what? Yeah, life force energy. Whenever you feel, like just before I started the session, I did pranayama. Early morning, I finished my routine because I cannot walk into the session and say, everybody, we are going to talk about energy today. All of you have to have high energy. If I talk like this, within 10 minutes, all of you would have logged out. Yes or no? So I have to have that energy for me to pass on that energy to you, because charity can't be done from an empty bowl, right? So you can do it any time of the day. That's not a problem. Due to more work, I'm always tired and feeling sleepy. Is there a way to control my sleep during the daytime? Yes, pranayama. Pranayama is the option. It means your body is looking for deep rest, right? It's in fact, there is a name for it also. It's called daylight fatigue or something like that. There is a name for it, there is. So pranayama, meditation, and techniques like the Sudarshan Kriya are a solution for it. I've personally seen this after I had 2 young kids. So I have another question which says, I'm really off once in a month, but bringing back myself after those 3 or 5 days is really challenging. I feel completely drained that time. Can you please suggest something? Yes. See, there are times, please understand that we are human beings, first of all. Yeah. We are human beings. We are not machines. Even machines get switched off once a while. But as human beings, somehow we become trained to feel guilty if we take rest, especially as women. If you take rest, you suddenly, oh my God, instead of doing this, I should be cleaning that cupboard. I should be pulling out the next 10 things I'm supposed to finish. It already tends to happen. Please understand, this is an investment to your own health. It's much better off you take rest in those 3 to 5 days in a month versus landing up with higher health complications when you're 50 and 60. And then, trust me, it's a spiral downward, right? So at that point of time, give yourself that rest. If your body is sick, if your body is tired, if your body needs that break for those days, respect it and give it. Without this body, you cannot do anything. Face it. Yeah. So if it is required, you have to give it that rest. There's no other way out of it. Everything else can wait. Trust me, the world will exactly remain the same. Even if you work those 3 to 5 days, after you come back on the 6th day, your kitchen is still going to remain dirty. The vessels are still going to be piling up on your sink. Children will still be throwing everything around. Okay. And your assignments and paper corrections are still going to be there. The world will not fall apart. If it does, it will fall apart in those 3-5 days. And then if it is anyway fallen apart, what is there to worry about? Chill. Yeah. So it's okay. This is something that I learned the hard way, I must admit. Yeah. Yeah. This is a very nice question. Due to school closing, children are expecting time as a mother. It's called the perennial. In daytime, office work is also there. Yeah. The perennial mother's guilt, or parental guilt for that matter. Okay. Even fathers have it these days, right? Because as a society structure, we've changed, and people who teach psychology will understand this, right? See, you need to understand one thing, that it's better to give quality time to your family versus quantity time. Remember in the beginning of the session, I said all those people where your spouse kept sending you outside saying, go to college, go to college, go to college. Yeah, that's because they've had too much of you, overdose of your niceness. Yeah, is everybody here with me? Is your attention here? I know a lot of you have started browsing on your mobile phones. It's okay, 10 minutes, just park, look here. Yeah. So, when you have an overdose, there's no point in spending 10 hours with everybody and then fighting it out. Somebody asked me, and we've all been through this parental guilt, somebody asked me, do you give 100% of your time to your children? I said, I don't. Instead, whatever time I give, I am 100% with them at that point of time. What do we do? Tell me, what happened in school today? Okay. Yeah, correct. Your friends are coming. Oh, yes. Distracted parenting is a huge problem of the society that we are facing. I specialize in teaching the youth programs. And when I teach the youth programs, it's typically for people who are between 17 and 30. And they are distraught because of 2 things: over-parenting or distracted parenting. And all of you people are teaching youngsters, you know it yourself. Yeah. Over-parenting is what? When children are trying to do something, everything you want to hold their hand. 25-year-olds come to my meditation class and their mother will call me and say, should I send lunch? Hello, can't a 25-year-old decide when to have lunch and how to figure out lunch for a single day? Are we creating such a disempowered society? Should I send you this or should I send you that? One day send what is there at home. No, what will happen? We agree, we all grew up in a far more rougher generation than what the current youngsters are. Yes or no? How many of you agree? If we had preferences like this, parents will either whack us on our butt or they will tell us, chal, we have a half a dozen to take care of. We can't keep focusing so much. Yeah. One problem is over-parenting. The other is under-parenting. Oh, yes, you are free to do whatever you want to do. Hello, I'm coming to you because I'm confused. What should I select as my career? No. We are very cool parents. Decide whatever you want to do. Why? The secret is you yourself are very confused. Has it happened? You must be seeing this in your students. Yeah, which is why our youth empowerment programs are heavily drilled onto aspects that they face. Relationships. Yeah. So the best thing is whatever time you spend, give quality time to your family, your children, whoever it is. Is it possible to pass on positive energy to others? Is it true? What do you think after the session? How many of you are feeling good? In the first 30 seconds that I came on screen and Supriya ma'am and Shilpi ma'am read out my bio, what were all of you doing? Oh, this lady here. Oh. All the analysis was happening. She looks so young as compared to me, or she looks so old compared to me. She's in a corporate. What will she teach us? We all did this judgment. No, within the first 60 seconds, all of you had your own judgments about me. She'll teach us positive energy. Boy, if she doesn't give me stress, it's enough. 1 hour, I have to sit through the session, 10 o'clock in the morning. Happened? No. All of you are feeling positive now? Yes or no? Dr. Thirumangal, what do you say? Yeah. So it is possible to pass on positivity. Yeah. When I'm not getting the credit for my good work and always get backbiting for my little mistake or without a mistake, it disturbs me a lot. How to control my sadness at this time? I stay in a particular area called HAL. Okay. And in Bangalore, for that matter, in any area, okay, near Jeevan Bhima Nagar is where I stay. You have a lot of street dogs that keep barking at the sun. Imagine the sun had to respond to all of them. Yeah. So you don't have to worry. You should know where to give sadness place in your life. Gurudev says that fear, criticism, all this you should give place in your life equal to a pinch of salt. If you make that the entire dish, whole life you will only be, oh, nobody's understanding me, nobody's understanding me, nobody's understanding me. Hello, people don't understand their own selves. Where will they have the time and energy to understand you? It's called as the poor me syndrome. Always feeling like a victim of, oh, the world is very rushing to me. Deep inside me, I have so much nothing. You have flesh and blood. That's it. Okay, everything else is confidence and courage in life. Face it. Yeah, if you keep expecting everybody to give you credits, relax. Life is not a university. How many credits have I got? How many certificates have I got? How many this have I got? Your entire life will be in just accumulating these credits, which don't even give you a degree. Towards the end, the only certain degree is that you and I are going to die. Relax, chill, let go. If it comes, take it. If it doesn't come, bless and move on. You do what you feel, they'll say, contented. You do something, do it 100%. Then you see how you feel like a warrior. A soldier doesn't say, oh, I'm going to die for the country. Is somebody recognizing me? He doesn't care. The soldier is just out there to go and do it. Yes or no? Larger perspective of life opens up and gets you out of sorrow, which is why they say Jnana Kavacha. What does it mean? Knowledge is like a kavach. It's like a protection shield. When you have the right knowledge in life, and then you have techniques like, see, you will have all this knowledge. What I'm telling you is not true. Every grandmother around you would have told you, every friend around you would have told you all this. But what is the game changer? Game changer is the pranayama. When you're angry, at that moment when somebody is finding fault with you, you feel like one tight slap, or you settle down and relax and face life. That comes with your ability of pranayama. When you're practicing your pranayama, the knowledge comes to you when you most need it. That is why it is so important to meditate. to do pranayama, to do yoga. Yeah, that is why I keep saying, if you ever get a chance to learn the Sudarshan Kriya, go do it. It'll transform. Yeah. Should pranayama be done in an empty stomach? Depends on the pranayama that you're doing. Okay, like the Brahmari pranayama that we did now, you can do it even on a full-fledged stomach. You've eaten very well. You know, somebody cooked very well at home. You've eaten and then you have a class to take at 2 o'clock. No worries, Brahmari will save you. Okay, Brahmari will energize you and you'll be able to deal with it. But if you're doing something like a Bastrika, no, you can't. Very nice. Okay, so I know I have a lot of other questions. How do we become mindful in all our daily transactions? Mindfulness is a practice. Such a beautiful question, I tell you. Yeah, you're telling me I should meditate. Should I go sit under a tree? No, I'm not at all telling you that. We have regular lives to take care of, right? So the best way is when you practice it, when the energy levels are high, the awareness comes to you in everything that you do. When you're having that curd rice and avakai pickle, are you relishing it to the maximum or are you finding fault with it? When you are watching, the Family Man series on Amazon Prime, are you constantly finding fault with somebody's acting and somebody's background, or are you just enjoying it? When you're playing with your children, however they hit with the cricket bat, are you just being in the game? Or are you finding fault saying, be like this, how do you do that? Don't scream like this. If your maid leaves a little Vim bar on your plate, how are you handling it? Yeah. This practice comes only when awareness comes. Awareness comes when your energy is high. Energy is high when you do things like pranayama, yoga, meditation, Sudarshan Kriya, and such amazing practices. Okay, with that said, we've pretty much taken care of all the questions on the chat. So before we have any closing thoughts, I'd like to share with you my contact coordinates, but why is this showing me something else? So these are my details. If you would like to keep in touch, if you'd want to, learn more about meditations, if you'd like to learn more about motivational talking, I'm happy to connect. This is my number and this is my LinkedIn ID. Just one request is please don't send me good morning, good evening, good night messages on my phone number. I will not be able to respond to them. Yeah. But if there is more that you require, I'm happy to keep in touch. And I'm pretty active on LinkedIn as well. So you can find me there if you're on LinkedIn. This is my name. I know Dad's name is pretty long with a double R in it, but that's where you'll find me. Yeah. So with that said, any last question that somebody wants to ask, unmute and ask, apart from what we've already discussed, feel free to do so.
Ma'am?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, how can we reduce overthinking? How can we handle actually overthinking?
Yeah, very nice. So overthinking happens because of low prana. When do you overthink? When you're worried about something, right? When your mind is in the future, when you're anxious about something that's going to come, right? Some guest is coming home, some result is going to come, some promotion is going to come. That is when you're anxious about it. That's when you overthink. Arey, maine to aise bol diya hai. How will this work? How will that work? Yeah. So when the mind is either in the past or in the future, then you overthink. And that leads to stress. And stress also causes you to overthink, like what we spoke in the beginning of the program, right? So how do you reduce overthinking is by increasing your own energy levels. Prana Shakti it's called. When you increase the Prana Shakti, your overthinking reduces. The mind slows down, like how you saw in the meditation session. Some of you are opening your eyes and doing it. For those of you who genuinely did it with your eyes closed and fully into it, yeah, you will see that the mind slows down. When the mind slows down, the thinking slows down and it becomes very clear, crystal clear. In water, have you seen that game we all used to play? If there is a if there's a puddle, you put little stone and then there is a ripples that gets caused around. Once that stops, the water becomes very clear and you can see what is there inside. Yes or no? Yeah. So like that, when your mind is full of ripples, multiple thoughts, overthinking, then there is no clarity. Right? But when you meditate, what happens is that ripple settles down. Then you can very clearly see under the water. In that case, in this case, you will very clearly have clarity of thought. When you have clarity of thought, there is no overthinking. No. If I have to eat idli or upma, it's a very clear choice for me if I don't have confusion. If I have clarity that, okay, I want to cut down on my, say, I don't want to have any oil, I don't want to have any spices, I don't want to have things, then idli is a very clear choice. There is no overthinking. Versus, oh, I don't know what to do. You're standing there in MTR. Yeah. Somebody is telling you token, and you're still thinking what to do. That is when overthinking happens. If the doctor has said you have to have only steamed food for the next 1 month, then idli is a very clear choice. Just like that, right? So that clarity of thought comes when your energy levels are high. So meditation is the answer for it. Definitely. I've personally felt this and so many others as well. Thank you very much. I must say that this has been one of the most interactive, the most authentic FDPs I've taught in the last few months. And I really want to appreciate JAIN University, all you guys for it. So it's a very participative crowd that, we've had very well. Thank you very much. So over to Shilpi ma'am and Supriya ma'am, if you have anything.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. We have come to the end of the first session for the day today. So thank you so much, ma'am. Such a wonderful, enlightening and stimulating session. According to me, such sessions really required, especially during this pandemic, where we are in full of uncertainty and something called social distancing, where people are battling fear about such situation and juggling home and work in close proximity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, ma'am, sometimes this management of managing stress, what I feel sometimes it sounds so simple, but when we sit back and think seriously about what is stress, how to manage, do I have stress? Yes, I cannot say no. No human on this earth can say I don't have stress. So what type of stress I'm undergoing, how to realize, how to overcome that. When I'm able to define, we learned from this session, what type of stress I'm undergoing, what is the reason for that, what is the background, then only I can find the solution. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your valuable time, for accepting our invitation and speaking to us today. And once again, on behalf of entire team of CMS, I thank you from my heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I really want to acknowledge and thank all of you, humbly accepting all your lovely words on chat as well. And thank you so much to all of you for being part of the session. Lovely. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shilpi ma'am. Thank you so much.
Over to Shilpi. Yeah.
Thank you, Supriya ma'am.
Yeah. So we are winding.
Yes.
Okay.
So our second speaker for the day is Dr. Subramanya, Principal, RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. But before we begin, dear participants, please note the session will be for 1 hour, followed by Q&A for half an hour. Please post your questions on the session in the chat box and keep your videos on throughout the session. Video for all the sessions will be available on JUCMS YouTube channel. The link for the same has been posted in the chat box. Please note that tomorrow the FDP will start at 9 o'clock. There is one Google form which Dr. Manu Vora wants the participants to fill. We will be sharing you the link for that form. Please do fill that form before the session. Thank you. Please log in for the session by 8:50. Now I would introduce Dr. K.N. Subramanya. Dr. K.N. Subramanya is currently working as the principal at RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. He did his BE in Industrial and Production Engineering, MTech in Industrial Management, MBA in HR Specialization, and PhD in Supply Chain Management. He has also done NEPTL online course on leadership education and academic leadership program of Oxford University. He has 29 years of experience in teaching, training, consultancy, research, and administration. His academic and research expertise include operations management, supply chain, logistics management, e-enterprise modeling, simulation modeling and analysis, decision sciences, and applied ergonomics. He has guided more than 100 UG and PG projects and is actively involved in research. He has published 46 technical papers in refereed in national and international journals and presented 81 technical papers in national and international conferences. He has successfully executed several funded projects, consultancy assignments, and coordinated the projects and consultancy worth more than 20 crores at the institution level in the last 3 years. He has authored chapters in 9 books and has established centers of excellence in macroelectronics, Internet of Things, computational genomics, smart antenna systems, e-mobility, CCT Research Center, and incubation center at the college level. He is also instrumental in signing MOUs with 90 companies in India and 3 universities in abroad for joint collaborations. He is a member of various statutory committees at the national and state level and serves as a member of professional societies for collaborative work and networking. With immense honor and respect, I welcome Dr. K. N. Subramania to address our participants and attendees. Sir will be speaking on the topic Industry Institution Symbiosis. Over to you, sir.
Madam, I would like to share my PPT.
So we have made you the co-host. You can share your PPT.
Where exactly it is there? I'm not finding.
So there is a share, like when you will look down, there is a green share button. Can you see that? Share screen?
Not finding. That's why I asked. Yeah, just let me check. Yeah, it is there. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can share your screen.
Able to see?
Yes, so we are able to see.
Thank you very much, madam, for a nice introduction. Good morning to all of you, and I hope all of you are keeping well and taking care of yourself and your family and the environment. I hope the corona will go away as early as possible. At least in Bangalore, things are becoming a little bit normalized, and maybe next week things may become better. So hoping we'll be out of the corona crisis, which has happened maybe once in a century. But we have to get adjusted to the new normal. Because in fact, the opportunities and the challenges coexisted during the last 1.5 to 2 years. And there are a lot of challenges as well as there are a lot of opportunities. So one such opportunity was the digital learning. So I am sure that given a chance for the whole country, if digital learning would have been implemented, it would have taken easily 4 to 5 years. But for COVID, I think we have all learned so quickly. Maybe you ask anybody today, they know all the platforms which are available, how to do things. Maybe I was trying to get some input from the students and the faculty members. When compared with the wave 1 kind of online classes and the wave 2 kind of online classes, wave 2 kind of online classes are much better than wave 1. So that means in the last 6 to 7 months, both the faculty as well as the students both have got used to the things. I think that will be the new normal. So this is a very, very relevant topic which have been chosen. There's a bridging the gap between academia and industry with advanced pedagogical techniques. But let me tell you that my talk would be in a holistic way of the industry institution symbiosis. I'm not specifically looking into only the teaching part of it, because if you want to get connected with the industry, I feel you have to look into a very holistic approach. Then only it will be very much helpful to you. Otherwise, getting an expert lecture on a regular basis, those things will not be adding too much value to the organizations, even though it gives some kind of a technological changes. So my focus would be on industry institution symbiosis. So why people have started talking about it, even though many of the institutions in the country would have already done all those things for quite some time. But why suddenly everybody is talking about industry-institute interaction? Do you feel we are not doing it, or are we doing it right? So the way we have to look at all those things is that now a necessity has come actually for all of us, because everyone in the country, every institution is going for either NAC, NIRF, NBA, and of course recently the national education policy, which will be in force. And I'm sure that many people would be talking even in this seminar about the national education policy, and which was done actually in 1992. And of course now you have 2020 national education policy. So all these things in one way or the other expect us to perform in a better way. If you take a NAC, it will be almost around 300 marks. If you take NRF ranking, it's 100 marks. NBA, if you take it, it's somewhere around 275 marks, but it changes little bit based on it's a PG program or a UG program. Of course, if you look into national education policy, even though the number may not be there or the marks may not be there, but still I feel people would be very much interested to know how well you're performing. And I will talk about this little bit later. And of course, if somebody is attending to, let us say, ATAL Innovation Mission, Idea Labs, ACT CII surveys, and any other kind of surveys which you participate, people expect a very, very strong industry institution symbiosis. As of now, it's not that we don't have it. It's all at different levels in different organizations. But I will tell you, based on my little experience, whatever I have, what are the ways we can look into it in a broader perspective. So the necessity has come today. I think necessity is the mother of invention. Maybe if you ask 10 to 15 years back, only few students were doing projects, few were getting placed, and placement was not one of the very important parameters in the institutions at all. But today, if you don't get connected with the industry, connected with the society, then even doing education to some extent, as well as the survival of the younger generation is also very, very difficult in the future. So that too, during COVID, post-COVID, the symbiosis with the industry and the institution becomes very, very important. So I'm sure all of you are aware of this slide and how we had to, in fact, perform. We had to perform in all those things. Even in NIRF ranking, it has got 200 marks. Research productivity, impact, and IPR, enhancing perception rating. In fact, research productivity, here let me also tell you that I will not be focusing research which related to the sponsored or the governmental establishment. I am talking about the industrial research and the consulting. I think that also has in that 100 marks of NIRF has got research and consultancy as a separate marks you have for that. So keeping this in mind, I am sure many people even would be telling you about what are all the ways people are looking for in the environmental changes, whatever is happening. But I would like to give in my own way, what are the environmental scanning which you have to do even before looking into the symbiosis, either with the industry, either with other institutions, either international collaboration. We should know what exactly is happening. So as you know that it is expected by 2030, this will be the landscape actually of our whole of our education system. This was the FICCI survey which was done in 2016. And so they expect that transformation in innovative interventions across all levers of the higher education system. It is also expected that in the next 10 years, there are chances that even the Indian good institutions will also get Nobel Prize in various areas. I think we were already looking into and seeing all those things through our self-reliance or Atmanirbhar Bharat and all the other things during this uncertainty. We have found that we all have capabilities, but only thing is somebody should tell us. Like say Angada told Hanuman that you have very potential and you have to do it. Then we are capable of doing it. I think the day has come today that we have another 10 years time to prove that we can all do much better. Of course, there are foundation things for higher education. One is the funding, other one is the governance and the leadership is the other one which is very important. Of course, curriculum and pedagogy is the one which we are all discussing in the whole 1 week. Then faculty participation in all the activities are very, very important, because what has happened is there is a lot of heterogeneity in the faculty, starting from up to 60 years of age, starting from 24, 25 years. There is too much of heterogeneity, and the senior faculty are very good fundamentally. The way teaching methodologies are very good, but they may not be accustomed or getting adjusted to the technologies very fast. Whereas the youngsters can get adjusted to the technology very fast, but their experience in understanding the concepts may not be good. Their foundations may not be good. Fundamentals may not be good. So there is a lot of issues which comes to the faculty members. Then, of course, research is happening only in very, very few institutions. I'm sure you would have seen Times of India today that IISc has scored 100 on 100 in research. I think that's a marvelous achievement. They're ahead of all the top universities in the world, like say Princeton, Harvard, Stanford. So I think that's the kind of research people are expecting. Then partnerships and networking is very, very important, and infrastructure. In fact, if you're talking about industry institution symbiosis or interaction, infrastructure is very important. We cannot expect everything is given by the industry to us. It's not possible. It is a mutual understanding that I give some resources, they give certain resources. So this will be the pillars on which all of us have to work. And one is related to the other in this. If one pillar becomes weak, I think your structure of the building is also very weak. So we should try to give importance to all the kinds of things. It should be transformational. I think new education policy is one such transformational thing which has been done. And of course, we have to look at a lot of innovative interventions. There's a lot of scope in this area which you can look into. So this is one such landscape which has happened, which we are supposed to know. Then would be, we have Vision 2035 document, which has been given by TIFAC. In this Vision 2035 document, you see already the vision is realizing the full potential of every Indian. Even as for new education policy, we are supposed to reach somewhere around 50% as the gross enrollment ratio. Currently, we are somewhere from 19 to 22%. I'm sure in another 5 years, a lot of changes are going to happen. All these words I'm not going to repeat. I'm sure that in the last 1.5 years, we have all tuned to all those things. Adaptive learning still might not be very effective, but hybrid and blended learning we have been doing, MOOCs we are doing, virtual environments slowly we have been doing, flipped classrooms some people are doing, then game-based learning, very, in fact, schools are much better actually if you talk about game-based learning. So like that, these are all the trends which is already in place, but how well we are performing is very, very important according to me. And of course, future technologies are there. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later also. And don't think I'm from an engineering college and don't think I tell only technology. Today, even the management is through technology. In fact, those who want to become very effective managers today, everything is technology driven. Either is a HR function or a finance function, or could be marketing function, or could be operations or systems function, or any new area of analytics you are talking about. Everywhere technology and management both plays a very, very, according to me, these are two faces of the same coin. Without management, technology cannot survive, and without technology, you cannot manage the things in a better way because your competitor will be doing if the company doesn't do. So in that way, you may not become a master in all the technologies, but as a manager, I feel we have to teach children that they should know about all these things, because once they go to the organizations, they'll be hearing all such kinds of things. If he becomes a production manager, he'll be thinking about many of these things here. If he becomes let us say, a marketing manager, he may be talking about artificial intelligence, digital marketing, all sorts of things. If you become a HR manager, you talk about AR and VR, augmented reality, virtual reality kind of an environment. And of course, all the people has to know about cloud computing, because whole of our data and information is kept only in the cloud. So it's always better somewhere. I don't know in the MBA institutions how much of technology is taught. So I always request people, because I've seen all the angles. I've seen science, engineering, technology, and the management, and also the computer field, information system field. So then I feel that every other field should teach what is there. That is called as interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary approach, which people are talking about. So this is another Vision 2035 document we are supposed to know. Of course, in a similar way, if you look into the other way of putting it, the new areas which are emerging are social media I'm sure that the management people do a lot of work in this area. It could be the sales relevant information or end customer direct contact, or it could be predictive and prescriptive analytics, or IoT, machine to machine communication, and driverless vehicles we talk about, robotics and automation, then 3D printing and scanning in the production area. Of course, mobile applications today, nothing because after e-commerce, it would be mobile commerce. Already people have started looking into the mobile commerce through, let us say, our Swiggy's, Ola's, Flipkarts, Amazons. Everybody has already started doing mobile to mobile communications. Already it has happened. But so this is the way things are changing in the world, and India is a most potential for all those things. And we have to take youngsters into confidence and try to build in all of them. So this is another area which people have to look into. Of course, all of you would be knowing about Industry 4.0 with another way. What in the last two slides I explained has been put in a different way, that's all. It could be analytics, cyber security, the cloud, additive manufacturing, augmented reality, industrial internet of things. So let me tell you that if you are aware of all these things, your students whom you are going to teach are aware of all these things, they are going to become better managers, whatever sectors they can go into, or whatever the functional areas of management they go into, because they will have an upper edge when they know all these things in a better way. At least out of curiosity, they should try to know all those things. Even though many of these things come under the technology and the engineers are going to look into it, but engineering manager or a techno managerial skills, if they provide, if they try to learn, then it will be very much helpful to them. And of course, in the education field, we are not lagging. We are already working in the education field, and I am sure that all of you know about Education 4.0 and how the things are working. And if you look into Education 4.0, in fact, your title says pedagogy. Okay, so I don't know how many of you know there are three methods: pedagogy, heterogogy, andragogy. Pedagogy is actually a school education, but still even in colleges we are calling it as pedagogy, because ours is a continuation of the school anyway. We are doing a rote learning, one-way communication in the classes. So that's why still pedagogy is prevailing even in the institutions of higher learning. So whereas andragogy is for the aged kind of people, maybe non-formal education systems and teaching the elders and things of that becomes an andragogy. Heterogogy is, in fact, this is the one actually in higher education institutions we are supposed to do it. Heterogogy means it is self-directed learning. In fact, the best example is that you talk about Krishna in Mahabharata. So what he did is he was dealing with all very brilliant people like Bhima, Arjuna. Then what he did is he didn't want to become in the mainstream. He told, I am going to become a Sarathi. Why did I tell that? Because today's generation of students have so much of information with them. In fact, they have much better information than what we have. So then the availability, accessibility, everything is very easy for them. Unlike if you take our generation, had to depend only on the book, only go to the library. But today at your fingertips, many things are already available. So then what happens is self-directed learning is, so like Krishna, we have to be in the back end now and go on directing them, so that their learning becomes effective. No, I am sure all of you, the elders here, would be experiencing that you tell your son or daughter in the house, they get irritated. They don't like this advisory mode. They don't like. So when our children don't like in the house, it is similar even in the institutions. So somewhere we should try to find out what are their kinds of ways of doing into it. So Education 4.0 always expect, in fact, on the left side, whatever is given, many of the things during the COVID we have already done. Anywhere, anytime we have done personalized, few people have done, flexible delivery has been done. Peer and mentoring is also happening through activity points of AICTE or through all your innovative clubs or the cultural clubs. Mentoring happens, peer-to-peer mentoring also happens. Then why and where, not what and how, is very important. And then where we are finding out problem is the student ownership. Onus of a student, creating that is very, very important. So I am sure that on the right hand side, whatever is given is because if you don't move into this, the right hand side could not be achieved, because we are talking about lifelong learning, developing the 21st century skill in children, and then millennial mindset. I think this is one of the very important things all of us have to understand. I cannot go on teaching the way I want, thinking this is the best, but the millennial mindset is something different. So how to do these things? So in fact, in my college, I tell people, if you are teaching for 50 hours in a class, don't teach for 50 hours. You teach only for 15 hours and another 30, 40 hours. You have to work with children to see that group activities. I'm going to tell you some of the ways how it could be done. So, so that what happens is less of teaching and more of learning from their side is going to add a lot of value to the millennial kind of students. So education 4.0 and of course 5.0 is also there now. But I think we are somewhere in the education 3.0 and 4.0 struggling around to make it more accurate. Then if you look into the other kinds of areas, would be, I'm sure all of you know about sustainable development goals. I think this is the societal commitment. Education 4.0 is for us. 21st century is for the skills for the students. Then United Nations sustainability goals is for the society. So now, whether your students in any form or the other, can they not get connected to any one of these goals here? If they can try to get connected with the goals, automatically their learning would be better, their education would be better, and they get more skills apart from the knowledge. So I'm sure all of you would be, I just browse through these things because this is the landscape which you have to remember when you are even setting the syllabus, you want to go to the company for interaction, all these things we should be aware of it. Then what happens is getting connected becomes very, very easier. Then of course, you all know about 21st century skill, map it to what are the things which we are teaching in our syllabus as on today. See what are the things a student can learn with what, can you map these skills, whatever is expected with whatever we are teaching is the one which is very, very important. So if we can look into that, in fact, foundational literacies are very important, competencies, then character qualities, which is very, very important. In fact, building a spirit of inquiry, curiosity, initiative and innovations. Then persistence is very important because the emotional quotient of children is very, very poor nowadays. How do you make them to handle failure in a better way? Then how do you build leadership qualities? Of course, adaptability and flexibility. Indian students are supposed to be the best in the world. That's what other country people say, because we have a total youth population. This is one plus point we already have. So how do you build these character traits among, in fact, it need not be only from the higher education. This has to somewhere start from school education, secondary and the tertiary education. But some people have already crossed these two levels. I think we have to put in a little bit more effort to see that all these things are taught. But out of this, let me tell you, many of the things as an education institutions, we may be failing to do it. That's why get collaborated, get connected with the industry, get connected with the research institution, collaborate with the other institutions. Then you can make the learning much better and easy and enjoyable for the present generation. And these are the skills in what form or the other, whenever they go for employment, higher studies, entrepreneur, if somebody has to become, in fact, he should have more of these skills than he goes for employment. So wherever he goes, I think people are trying to expect in one form or the other. They may not call by the same name when they go for interviews, but majority of these things are checked by the industries. So you have to work backwards with all those things and try to go back to the syllabus. Of course, institutional governance in terms of what cannot be measured, cannot be improved, as all of you know, that we are supposed to actually work with all these kinds of agencies and try to see how well we are performing, because I always feel that whatever could be some of the things we may not be right in whatever we are getting, but still I feel people who have gone for many of these things, their improvement is always there in the institution, either for the system improvement or for the faculty improvement or for the collaborations or for the students' performance. These are all the things which are definitely been helpful in the last 5 years, at least I have seen as a principal of the college, that many of these things we also have. In fact, today you would have seen already QS ranking has come. Maybe we are not still figuring 1 in 100. So not even in 1 in 50, it starts from 177. Fine, but it is okay. Let us go on looking into these things. So then so when once you know all these things, as a precursor, or the ecosystem for education, how it is operating, next to your job would be to look into the outcome-based education, which all of us are doing for quite some time. And with a focus on experiential learning, relevant to industry institute symbiosis. There are a lot of other methods. In fact, I have identified 50 methods of this, but I am telling relevant to industry institution experiential learning only you should try to add it. So that will be my focus. If you look into it, in fact, what all the things I explained in the last 4-5 slides, I try to put it into one slide here. I think it a little bit, let us say, congested. Please bear with me. But what you can look into here is that one side is industry 4.0 and 5.0, and other side, the bottommost left corner is, I'm sure all of you know about it. What is it? Bloom's taxonomy levels. And then I given education 4.0, which encompasses even the education 5.0. Then I'm sure all of you know about this KADIME. These are all typically the program outcomes which you are looking for. Then your 21st century skills and the sustainability skills. So if anybody can understand this slide, out of all the slides what I'm going to explain, I think we have understood the new normal of the education and the way we want to implement new education policy is all there in this slide actually. If you cannot connect whole of our syllabus to all those things, then we will not be doing a justice and our students are going to face problem in the future. So industry 4.0, 5.0, then the program outcomes, then the 21st century skills, sustainability development for the things, education 5.0 and the way we conduct, and then the Bloom's taxonomy level to measure the lower order and the higher order thinking among the students. So this is very, very important. So where there is industry, there is education, there is society, and there are other bodies which are put into, and everybody tries to put in the form of what is called as a PO. So if you can put all these things in your PO, automatically your student will be doing in a better way. So I will give a very simple example. We are trying to follow this in our institution. That so let me tell you that how do I put all these things? If you come from the, I'll take one course, okay? In fact, this course is chemistry. For first year chemistry, we have done it. So first column is course outcomes. If I said 4, I've got industry 5 and industry education 5.0. Then the life skills or the 21st century skills, sustainability development goals on this side, and on the other side, POs mapping. Either it is 11 or 12 based on whether it is an undergraduate or a postgraduate. And can you map all those things and see, go back and set the syllabus and see what you are teaching, what you are not teaching. Whatever is the stars which are blinking are the things which are taught in chemistry department. Fine. So this is one map. I want all of it to do this exercise. If you can do this exercise, we will know where do we stand. Are we teaching what is needed for the sustainable development goals? Are we teaching what is needed for the skill sets? Or as per the blended learning, effectiveness in learning, then the skill-based training, and what is the requirement of the industries? Are we taking this one slide along with the previous slide which I explained is very, very important for us to have a holistic view of how we are supposed to set the whole of our education system. Fine. So keeping this in mind, of course, all of you know Bloom's taxonomy levels, it is very difficult to do alone in the institutions. Maybe if you go to the higher order skills, according to me, the collaboration would be very much essential. A whole of our system is in the first 3 levels, maybe 1 or 2 will be in the 4th and the 5th level. 6th level is very, very few people who may have done a startup, an incubation center. Only such people might have gone to that level. But majority of the people fall under the first 3 levels. And the next 3 levels is very, very important. If you want to achieve that, just with the teacher, just with whatever facility we have, it may be difficult many times because it expects a lot of infrastructure facilities, the connects, the live problems of the industry. If you have that, then you can go to this level. So even in the Bloom's taxonomy level, if you want to be very effective, you have to get connected with the industry. Then things are going to become very all right. So don't take this level only to map it to CO, map it to CO and POs, and then what questions to be given in the examination. I think we are all stuck with these kinds of things. That is important at the same time, but how can I get connected in all these levels from the industries, particularly the level 3, 4, 5, I mean 4, 5, 6 is very, very important for your collaboration. So if you can take care of these things, then that is from one end. Other end, the way we are doing whole of our education system is a rote learning, a one-way communication. we have been doing for quite some time, and on quite some time in the sense maybe after Britishers have beautifully made us to a memory-based kind of an education system since last 200 to 50 years we have been doing that. But slowly now you are realizing that the learning styles of students are different, but I teach the same way. In fact, whatever I'm teaching now to all of you is the same way, because there are 213 people I saw in the chat, in the participant list. 213 people, the way you understand this, it should be entirely different. But in the class, we'll do the same way. So can I classify my students in sensing and intuitive learners? There are some people who are sensing learners, like say, like learning the facts, dislike complications and surprises, patient with details and good memory, and he is very practical. Some people are intuitive learners. They look into things of that, let us say, how can I make things like tend to be faster, be innovative. These things are also possible. So then other kind of a thing which you can look into would be like say visual and verbal learners. So best remember what they see. There, in fact, nowadays you please, because of the computerization, because of lot of visualizations which have happened across in the world, many children are getting tuned to this kind of a learning. So whole of your way you teach, can you visualize your balance sheet in finance and teach in a visual forum? That's where they're looking for. It could be pictures, diagrams, films, demonstrations. If you can look into it, people are trying to catch things in a better way. Then verbal. Some people are still traditional. They'll be good in writing, good in spoken explanation and things of that sort. Other kind of classification could be like active and reflective learners. So it could be learn best by doing. So there are, in fact, active learning method is there. That's only because of this. So let us try it out and see how it works. And like say group work, but reflective learners prefer working alone. I'm sure all these categories you see in your institution. So at least can you categorize these students into these categories? Because doing in every class would be different actually. But I'll suggest you this classification, if you can make, how you can make their effective teaching learning, or their learning would be much better. So sequential and global learners. In fact, global learners are very random. You just give him, he'll be in a position to have a total idea of how things are happening. So then the sequential learners are step-by-step procedures, like a school education or a secondary education. Everything they want to understand. Otherwise, they feel it, they are lost in the middle. But some people quickly they try to understand and try to do it. But we always feel as teachers, no, you should be a sequential learner, step by step we should learn and things of that sort. But today what has happened is I want to learn a Java programming and I quickly learn in a step by step method, put in a lot of effort. But in another 6 months, this Java or whatever it is not all there in the market. So they have to be very, very quick in whatever they are grasping, whatever they are doing. So global learners would be, it doesn't mean that global learners should not learn things in a methodical way. He will definitely learn, but he is so fast that he can quickly. I'm sure you would have seen in your institutions all these kinds of people also. So we are not trying to understand the learning style of a student for a long time. And let me tell you, school education, Montessori education is much better in these areas. Whereas when it comes to the higher education, we teach in the similar way, except maybe in projects or seminars, we may try to segregate. But in a holistically, if you take 3 years MBA program, then other 2 years PG programs, we are not looking into that. So in that way, what happens is you have to look into how do you make these learning. And once you understand these learning styles, then what are the activities of ELW is experiential learning ways. And industry related symbiosis. What are the things which you have to do it? I'm sure some of the things you'll be doing, some of the things you may not be doing it. So typically what happens is you take for an industrial visit, but you don't add it to marks anywhere. Today's children are very, very smart. What is not added to the grade, what is not added to the thing, they don't show interest. So can you, within your, if institutions are autonomous, your university, you have a lot of flexibility in doing things. Maybe can you put 50% of all these things only on the experiential learning, 30% on your final examination, 20% on your examination and final exam, and 20% on your tests and quizzes. That kind of a possibility we'll look into. But in an affiliated system, many times we are caught. They say only it is 20 marks internals, 80 marks final examination. In fact, in new education policy, many of these things are going to change. So industrial visit is one area. wherein you can get connected with the industry, try to talk to the people. Then industrial tour is very, very important. We always feel tour means going to Goa. Actually, it is not. Maybe organize 1 week tour, let them know the whole sectors, how it operates. Particularly managers, I feel that they need a lot of visualization of all those things, because I've interviewed many of the MBA students in under many of the occasions, but they really don't have any feeling of how a manufacturing company looks like, how a steel plant looks like, how a power plant looks like. They don't have any idea at all. They always think it is finance, marketing, it is okay. But what happens is, if you have seen all these things, your idea, your perception, your innovation will be much more. So you can have industrial tour, make it as a part. Then expert and guest lectures, I'm sure many would be doing it. Call the industry people on a regular basis. But here what happens is, when you call expert lecture, generally we ask them to give some talk. But this is not considered as a part of your marks actually. So what you can do is, you can, the related topic course-wise, you can call the expert, and whatever he teaches, give it in the test, give it in the exam, give it as a part of assignment. Automatically, otherwise what happens for all these guest lectures, we always will be struggling to get the students to attend. So if you can try to link it to their grades as a part of experiential learning, then automatically these things could be done with the industry people. Industrial problem solving. See, generally what happens is, industrial problem solving means we always feel that we can look into the things like only when project comes, when internship comes, we are going to look into it. But industrial problem solving could be, or management problem solving could be, as soon as a student enters the first year, can you ask some industries to give some problems? Let him start looking into it. And then by the end, they can do the project in the same way. Then he could also be placed in the same company. So you have to make this industry institution relationship from the beginning, not in the second year stage, third year stage. I think that's what we are doing. They have to come back in the first year itself. Along with whatever fundamentals you are teaching, if you can get connect with the industry, then things are going to become very easy. And of course, survey projects, I see many of the MBA students do it, but how effective is these things are done? This is again, looking into, let us say, today you can look into a survey of your healthcare sector, agricultural sector. COVID, in fact, will be a huge thing for a survey. How effectively they have to design questionnaires, whom to contact in industry. So all these things would be very much essential as a part of the learning. If you put it, will be very good. And sectoral analysis. We always, in fact, this is more problem in engineering, but I feel it may be less problem in management. I think you people have to tell that the sectoral or sectorial analysis people are not good at. You ask them how an agriculture sector looks like, how a healthcare sector looks like. He might have done an MBA in something, but they may not have that idea. In fact, all of you can download a McKinsey app is there. McKinsey Consultants app is there. They classify sectors into 22 sectors actually. And ask all of your students to download that app of the McKinsey. It is freely available actually. Every day there will be two articles which are going to come. I am sure that if your students can do, you name the area, it is there in that. If your students can do that, ask them to search, give some topics, then it will be very much good for them. This sectoral analysis, reading through consulting, it could be either PricewaterhouseCoopers or could be business magazines, or could be McKinsey consultants or KPMG consultants, whoever it is. Please ask them to read it, because this is going to enhance their knowledge. So this is another thing, try to get, in fact, I am telling you, sectoral analysis is not just for doing the sectoral analysis. It is for the respective courses, whoever is teaching. Can you tell in each of the sector, for example, let us say finance, somebody is teaching. I'm sure it is needed for all sectors. If you're teaching marketing, it's needed for all sectors. So in management parlance, it is a little bit more easier than engineering. So I feel that can you ask your students to know, have a holistic picture. Whenever studies a particular subject, ask them to study a particular, because the HR policies in the agricultural sector will be different from the HR policies in a B2B markets. It is different from a, let us say, a healthcare sector. It is different in a aircraft industry. It is going to change. So HR people should know about all those things. So a student who pass out as a specialization in HR will be very much helpful. So it can make this as a part of the experiential learning. then of course I'm sure mini and major projects people are doing it, but I think it has to be a little bit more effective. That's what I can say, because your major project, if it is very good, it can go up to the patent level. I don't know in how many of your institutions your major project of your students has been converted into a patent. It could be process patent, a product patent. In management parlance, many would be process patents. So how much has been done? So that depends. Even we are doing many major project, but what is the effectiveness of that? That can be measured only through a good international journal paper, or could be through a good patent which can be done, or that idea has been converted and somebody has done a startup company. So these are the measurables you should have for the major projects. Then expert interviews. This is very interesting, correct? Ask them to do a expert interview with the CEOs of a particular company. Let them methodically design the questionnaire so that they'll prepare a lot for that. Then the communication improves, the way they dress improves, because they have to go and meet the people. In expert interview conduction, I feel there are a lot of things people can learn. You ask them, give a topic. Let us say you want to know about the healthcare sector now. Ask a group of students and meet Devi Shetty, and let them put some 10 questions. Let him answer. Let them make a note of it. Then submit a report to you. You give marks for them. I think people should be a little bit generous if students do good marks. But somehow we are all stuck up with he has to write the test, he has to write the quiz, he has to write the examination. I think many of us are stuck up with that. So you be a little bit generous in allowing these people, see how the learning would be there. Automatically, all these things will be even definitely helpful for students to do very well even in the examination also. Of course, survey and startups. Can you give a survey on the startups itself? In fact, Bangalore itself is having more than 500 startups. Can you ask people how many are doing? In fact, one of my student batch is doing a survey on mental health among the youngsters. Is a final year project, and they've already do a startup in that area. So can you find out how many financial kind of startups are there? How many HR kinds of startups are there? Ask them to make a survey. Let me tell you, the kind of answers, the learning they get is much more, which will not be got in any textbook according to me. Survey on a startups in a course, respective course, whatever you are teaching, is not on the general survey, which I'm talking about. Fine. So this is the other one which you can look into. Then of course, professional associations, you make them, ask them to become a member and then see how much benefits they are going to get. And if they do a good job there, they've already met the industry people, they met the professionals, they have learned a lot of things. If he has attended some 5 lectures in the evening times, ask him to make a record of that and make a report and submit and give the marks to him. It is possible. Then virtual internship, I'm sure because of COVID, we are all doing anyway virtual internship. This has to be done with the industries. And then short-term internships, course related. In fact, this is very important. I'm sure in many places it may not be there. What is this all about? They do mini project, they do main project, they may do some internship, but course-wise, if you can put some percentage of marks, ask to do a short internship for 1 week or 15 days. Whenever the time is available to them, talk to managers, sit with them, and then try to understand the HR policies, or could be the how a balance sheet is done in a multinational company versus a national company. Let them sit with them, go to a chartered accountant and learn. So these kinds of short internships and making a report of this can also be a part of experiential learning, where you can give the marks, where the industry, I'm sure you all agree with me that whatever I'm telling is not without industry. So I'm trying to link the symbiosis in that manner. So that's about the experiential learning methods. So I'm sure that some of the things you are doing, you may be doing. In fact, I have identified 50 methods of experiential learning ways. I have taken only the industry institute is the topic for me. That's why I selected only these things. Apart from this, I have innovation kind of a thing, liberal arts, co-curricular activities of a student, or it could be course related, augmented kind of. There are a lot of other things which I also have, but I put only the how can you connect with the industries through these kinds of experiential learning ways. So only thing is faculty have to work much more when you are giving. So let me tell you, now a person is teaching a X course. Out of these 9 or 10 methods, whatever I told, for that X course, take 3 to 4 courses which are more suitable and ask a student to select out of this. Because whatever is his passion, he will do the best. Why you always say you only give seminar? Because one fellow is not good in communication, then you'll get less marks. But he may be very good in survey. Let him do survey. What is it all about? At the end of the day, he should pursue his passion. So if we can do that, then it will be very much helpful to all of you. We will also be happy and they will also be happy. As of now, both are unhappy because we say that students are very irregular. They don't come to the class. Even in online classes, they are not listening, we say. And those fellows say connectivity is not there. Then I'm not understanding. So that is the way. It's a blame game which is happening. According to me, if you try to make experiential learning in a better method, I feel that our teaching learning process could be much better. Of course, training and placement, all of you would be doing. I'm sure that these are all the ways you are even getting connected with the industries, technical and soft skill training, expert lecture. These things are related only to training and placement, not related to the course. Whatever course I have given is there is for the marks purpose of it. This is for the placement purpose of it. So these things could be also be a part, get connected with the industries. If there are, let us say, 50 companies are visiting, in fact, in my college, 270 companies visit. And I take for all these activities from different companies. Some of the activities, anyway, they will do it. But some of the things like, say, expert lectures, industrial internship, industry day, then mock experiments if they want to conduct with the new technology. Let us say, I will tell you, one of the companies, Japanese companies, wanted to use AR, VR gadgets for conducting the interviews for the students. Then they had asked me, sir, I want to do a mock experiment in your college. We had allowed them to do it. It's a very, very beautiful experience. I also participated. So like that, industry people are all very, very proactive and they're ready to help the children in whatever fashion they want. But it's only as we have to get connected. And I think I'm not still in the chat box. People always ask a question, sir, I asked the industry, they are not coming forward to help us. Let me tell you, they're in the business. And typically what happens is, if you want to even go to the industry, I request all of you to be more, credibility has to be built among the faculty members, which is very, very important. Without credibility, achieving something and going to them, I think they may not accept. They don't want to waste their time. So in that way, I'm going to show you what are the faculty's role after some time. If you want to take consultancy, go for the industry. Other value-added services for the placement could be scholarships, mentoring, sponsoring for the events, hackathons, CSR activities. All these things are the value-added activities. So tell me anywhere which industry is not there. Scholarships industries are giving actually. You get connected with them, build a credibility as an institution. I get somewhere around 80 lakhs every year for scholarship from more than 25 companies. And we give that to almost 250 to 300 students. That's the kind of connect. Scholarship we are giving, do you think it's only money part? No. There are a lot of collaboration which happens there. Because that student who gets scholarship, no, he may again go back to the industry itself. Because some people are very loyal to the things what they do. So this is another way you can get connected with the industry. I'm sure many companies, many institutions are doing it, but I think it has to be done much in a rigorous way, what is expected. Industry institution interaction cell is there in many places actually, I have seen, but the kind of activities which you can do, just not come here to market my college, but let me give some incidents, like say we have collaboration with industries, which is 74 industries which are large scale, multinational, and the small scale industries. Collaboration with other institutions, 20 institutions we have collaboration, including the premier institutions. Then we have with 13 research establishment we have the collaboration. So this is as on April 2021. After that, we have had another 5 to 6 collaborations. These collaborations, what are the advantages you can take of the collaborations with the industries? Faculty sabbatical is very, very important. Exchange programs, faculty development programs. Call, when you are doing FDPs, call more of industry people. Not that don't call for all the principles of any subject, call a faculty. For all the practice, you call a industry person. So any course will have principles and practice. For principles, give academicians, and for practice, give the industrialists. Then the learning of a student will be much more than these things. So these are all the different ways. Maybe some of you may be doing, some of you may not be doing. So please look into it, the way you can try to create a link between the industry and the academia. And in fact, if somebody has to develop a chair in your college, the credibility which you have to build, you have to work for at least 10 years with a company. Then only they are going to give a chair. Don't expect you go and ask them, sir, give a funded chair today. They will not give like that. It needs a lot of effort from our side, the institution side, the management side, the students' performance when they go out to the companies. All these things matter much if somebody is looking at a symbiosis between the industry and the institutions. So these are some of the ways, apart from whatever I told for the student, other ways you can try to get connected through these things with the industries. Then one of the most important things which as an academicians which are to look at with the top institutions in the world which they are doing, like even in education policy, it is going to come the academic institution, the research institution, and the multidisciplinary Meru is the last end. So slowly I'm sure that all of us also have to go towards research and consultancy. Today you will have a lot of money if you go into this area. Don't get stuck to only all the things whatever I told up to now, because the beneficiary of all those things would be by and large the students in up to now whatever I have told. But if you want to get the research and consulting, even the faculty get credit out of the institution gets credit, industry gets credit. So it's a total mutual. Of course, few students will be a part of all these research and consulting. So research and innovation is very, very important according to me. And I feel research and consulting has to be done. This is a very nice diagram which I like generally to put it. Like say, what this says, on the x-axis is the social relevance and y-axis is the concept and the knowledge. You know, when you talk about Archimedes' principle, it had got a thorough theoretical knowledge was there. He did first theory, then tried to look into the shipbuilding industry, which is a socially relevant. But you take Thomas Alva Edison, no, he did everything by trial and error method. In fact, the theory for a bulb came after the practice. So that's how you look into the, I put plus and minus. Social relevance is maximum, but the concept and the knowledge it had to be done after the theory. So that's how Thomas Alva Edison is known for. But if you talk about Einstein, even today, many people may not even understand the Einstein, or could be a Planck's quantum mechanics. It is such a, we call in Kannada as a kabbina kadale. So, but thoroughly conceptual knowledge is excellent. But do you look into the applications of that? Now we have started hyperloops, which are talking about the railway system, is based on this Einstein theory of relativity. So like that, either whatever research work you do should be socially relevant, or you should add to the body of knowledge. And it could be both, but you know that many of the research fall under the category where I put minus situation. So this is where even the industry research houses may not be accepting us for any of the works, just because that many of the works, whatever we are doing, we have to, I'm not blaming anybody here, please don't take me wrong. But if you are doing a good work, please try to maintain it. But for the people who are for the sake of doing PhDs, doing it, and for the sake of publishing paper, publishing it, but look into as it adding the value to the society or the industry or to the body of knowledge, which some 100 people study that particular paper and try to implement, then that is where a real research work could have happened. Either it could be applied research, basic research, or the developmental research, whatever it could be. So this is how research and consultancy plays a very important role. And of course, it's a total symbiosis. If you take an industry project or a consulting, you cannot sit in isolation in one room and do it. You have to go there, sit in the shop floor, sit with them and try to analyze the problem and then to try to do it. Then when you are doing any research and consulting, of course, this is even today applicable even for the teaching learning process. So I'm sure that you come from down top approach. Let us say disciplinary. I think we are all stuck to the bottommost level. I'm a finance guy, I'm a HR guy, I'm a production guy, I'm a systems guy, I'm an electrical engineer, I'm a mechanical engineer. I think we're all get to stuck these things. But in MBA, I'm sure that you have a dual specialization. Somewhere they're into the next level of multidisciplinary. Multidisciplinary is also additive. Okay, additive in the sense what? He studies finance, he studies marketing. But how many get converted? So that is additive, meaning is he studies finance, he studies marketing, is additive, but it has to be made more interactive. Can you use marketing skills in finance management or financial ideas into the marketing or financial marketing? That is interactive. So interdisciplinary is the interactive, and of course the last level is transdisciplinary actually. So you should know that multidisciplinary is additive in nature, interdisciplinary is interactive in nature. And transdisciplinary is higher level of synthesis which happens among all the kind of people. You see, there is no partition there. You take of solving a waste disposal problem in a city. You start talking about a traffic management in Bangalore city. Do you think only one person can solve? You need engineers, you need managers, you need bureaucrats, you need environmental groups, you need BBMP, you need KPTCL, you need water supply. How many you need? How many people you need? You need technologies, so many people. So that's why if you go to the last level, the societal problem is typically transdisciplinary in nature. If you go and tell them, they don't look into any of your things. As long as you can solve a problem, people need you at that level. So I feel, are we trying to train our students in this fashion? Maybe many are stuck still in the disciplinary level. Some people have moved into the multidisciplinary level, but interdisciplinary level, I am sure. In fact, these are the two terminals used even in the new education policy. If you want to do this, industrial symbiosis interaction is very, very, very important. Sitting in one corner of a room, I cannot develop a software for health issue. I should contact a doctor, I should go to the hospital, I should go to the software engineers, then try to develop a good app, whatever I need it. So like this approach is very, very important when you are talking about interdisciplinary research. As I'm already telling you, if you want to really have a symbiosis with the industries, they expect certain fundamentals or the basics should be right. So please introspect. I'm sure many may be experienced in all these things, but the way it is expected, because in industries, if you go, there is a short-term problem and there is a long-term problem. So here what they do is they look at something like, say, if I give a problem within 3 months, can you solve it and give it? How confident we are. It's not just solving our academic problem. It's a real problem. It has to be implemented. And the results have to be shown in their performance. So for this, you need the domain expertise, the technology application, training and facilitation every day. In fact, teacher is a lifelong learner. Every day you should get trained. Professionalism and work ethics is important. We cannot copy and paste from somewhere. And somebody has already done, somebody has worked it and go and show it. All such things doesn't work there. That critical thinking and problem solving abilities are important to solve a real world problem. And then the communication of submitting a report, convincing the people, all those things becomes very, very important. And you can, in fact, there is no harm actually. Every quarter, I take this slide actually and see where I have to improve. It's always better. What cannot be measured cannot be improved. It's always better to look into, before I am going for any industrial consultancy or talking to an industrial of solving a problem, can you look into something like, say, commercial awareness? Are you having it in that area? If healthcare sector, suppose somebody gives a COVID logistics problem, how good you are in logistics solving? Have you solved any real problems of logistics or solved a textbook problem? So it depends on that. Then how well you can solve a numerical problem. Then how fine attention to details can you go into? What are your analytical skills, the interpersonal skills? Tact and persuasion is very important. Teamwork and the ICT skills. So please look into it. Somebody wants to make an industry institution symbiosis. These are the things, faculty's core competencies and skills play very, very important role. If you have this, you're the most wanted person. I can give you a number of examples. I had seen one professor last year when I visited Germany, last year, that professor is working in a industry 4.0 area, and he gets certain X salary in euros. You know, in Indian consultancy mode, per 1 year, he gets 1 crore consultancy charges from the industries. He's such a beautiful person in the manufacturing area, putting that manufacturing into the reality. He's so good. In fact, he had visited even our college. His salary is a pocket money for him. Today, if faculty who are highly motivated and let us say self-motivated, there is a lot of potential. Because what is not there with the industry people we have is the knowledge base. We can understand things in a better way. We can do it in a methodical way. That if we can put into the practice oriented, I think industry institution interaction or the symbiosis is, according to me, becomes very, very easier. But without having this things, if you go to the people, they will say, okay, thank you very much. They will come and give one lecture and go away. That's all. But if you want to get connected for 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, you have to put in a lot of effort. Individual faculty, group of faculty have to put in a lot of effort. So then only the symbiosis is going to happen. Of course, do you think simply it is going to happen? Even there should be policy and infrastructure, even in the institutions, it should be there. If you want to have a symbiosis, simply you teach, you have only fundamental labs or the things in your area, they will not come to you. They ask for a space. They ask for a seminar room. They ask for a video conferencing facility. They ask for certain labs. Are you having all those things? So please have policies in place in the institutions. It could be in terms of the research policies, the consultancy policies. You have a policy document covering all the details. Then establishing the labs. You yourself should establish the lab and start working with students. Then automatically industries are going to come to you. Then offering research, whatever the good facilities you have, start offering freely to the industry in the beginning, then slowly charge money to them. Automatically they get connected to you. You have so many journals in the library. Has anybody taught at any point of time? Can you talk to a industrialist and get connected in that area? Share your journal resources, jointly write a paper with him. It is possible. Because he need not have to spend on the journal. You have that resource. Then, of course, as a part of your budget also, you should have the consultancy and research budget. Everything they may not give it to you. Some money you have to invest in the beginning. So have this policy in place. And of course, human resource development. This is a most important fact you should remember as faculty members. So when somebody is involved in a consultancy, I'm sure even the management should be very happy. So workload, in fact, these are the things which I'm following in my college. Some of the things, not all the things. So workload reduction, administrative works through automation, you can reduce, facilitate flexibility in the time of working. In fact, the new education policy is expecting this for faculty to do all those things. Regular training and needs analysis of the consulting and industries. Then strengthening your culture of consulting and research. Then motivate to apply for grants and consultancy. We should start applying. I've seen many people, 5 they apply, a 6th one they don't want. They always are fed up saying that, no sir, I'm applying, I'm not getting. Like that, it will not happen. You find out what's the mistake. Thousands and thousands of consultancy assignment goes to the company. Research project goes. But if it is not good, it is not taken into consideration. So then providing mentors, you can take actually a lot of industry mentors who are very good actually to handhold for research and consultancy. They'll be very much happy to help the student and evince interest in faculty work collaboratively. In fact, I don't know, maybe in MBA, it'll all be very short kind of things that people you know, but in an engineering institution, you ask a civil faculty, a name of a computer science faculty, they will not know. Within the department, if there are 60 people, I don't know how many get connected. So this getting connected with interdisciplinary team has to happen from the faculty member, not just meeting in the canteens during coffee time, free time. That is a different issue. That is a HR skill. But meeting for a professional kind of a job is very, very important according to me. So these are some of the infrastructure ecosystem which you are supposed to create. Of course, what are the motivational measures even from the industry? I mean, from the faculty, the institution side, they have to do seed grant for initial experimentation. Even before going for consultancy, the experimentation has to be done by you. Residential facilities in the campus, outcome-based incentives, maybe promotions, additional increments, financial rewards for good papers, sponsorship for publications and patents, revenue sharing in industrial consultancy, full-time research scholars with assistants, research awards from industry. In fact, in my college, at least 5 companies give research and consulting awards for my faculty members. Every year, I get 5 awards. Cognizant gives, then Airbus gives, then Boeing gives. Many people give the awards even for a good work done by a. In fact, I am going to select those people in the college for whom they give the awards. Then the faculty sabbaticals for PhDs and short terms. In fact, this is very important. I've already told you. Then funding for incubation and startups, and then looking into, let us say, other things like one-time return. In fact, once you get a patent, it is recorded. Can you start a company or can you transfer the technology? All these things are the motivational measures for faculty. Of course, you start involving in all these things now, automatically students will be there as a part of this. So that is a chain effect or a cascading effect. We can look into it. Then when once you do this, you can go into building the centers of excellence or the centers you try to build. Identify the thematic areas, assign a team. These are the things the heads of the departments, the principals, then the senior professors have to involve in making all these centers of excellence or the centers for skill development. So this is a procedure, in fact, we follow in our college. And in fact, I'd like to give some examples of how we have put in a lot of efforts in the institution. We have got up the investment and the sponsorship up to 50 crores in the last. These are some of the industry institutes symbiosis we have. You can just read these things. I'll give 2 to 3 minutes time for you to read. With Bosch, we have a automation technology. Investment is joint actually. with the industry as well as with the institution. So macroelectronics, we have all the centers and centers of excellence in the college. We have IoT center by Cisco. They are set up. They are given us 5 crore. If they are given 3 crores, we have spent 2 crores on that. We have automotive with Mercedes-Benz. We are working. Then we have spent almost on 1 crore with. We are getting a lot of certification fees now, and we have a center for antenna systems. Then we have started. This is the one which you can start actually, like say educational and digital learning research center. In fact, the Johnson lifts have given us some money, and we have invested some money, and we have started looking into it, developing online material, pedagogies, artificial intelligence in education, all such work we are trying to look into it. Then other centers are quantum computing with IBM, then hydrogen studies with German University, then machine learning and artificial intelligence with Scalp computing, then robotics and automation. We have spent money of 60 lakhs. We are doing it. This is a very interesting project wherein IASC, Army College of Engineering, then National Institute of Design, Bangalore, along with Wipro Technology, are working on autonomous vehicles. In fact, they have given us 4.5 crores recently, and almost around 20 faculty in our institution, along with 125 members, are working. These are total industry-sponsored project. So, do you think Wipro is going to give just like that? As I've already told you, you should look into a lot of, let us say, credibility, the working, the quality, everything has to be shown. Of course, we have an incubation center which has been set up. Prestige Group has helped us in setting up. So all these are industry. Apart from this, we have a lot of other things. I've listed only some centers and centers of excellences. Of course, try to get connected with entrepreneurship, starting from, I'm sure people are talking about the design thinking nowadays. So idea to prototype to incubation to startup. In the MBA whole setup, in fact, we are having a MOU with NS Raghavan Incubation Center of IIM Bangalore. Like this, we have only for entrepreneurship, we have with 15 companies, mentoring, technical expertise, then venture capital or business acceleration, technology know-how, so marketing, all the things put together. We have with 16 companies, the MOUs for idea to prototype to incubation to startup. So this is, I think, the ultimate kind of a symbiosis I talk about. Start from a simple expert lecturer, go up to this. I think we would have taken almost around 1 decade to do all those things. But today, you may not need 1 decade, you may need in 5 to 6 years. If the group of people start working, I think you can try to look into these kinds of things and start working. Fine. So what all the things which leads to, this is last but one slide, and what all things it can lead to. Deliverables for industry. It could be products, process, systems. It will lead to then employment of students is going to change. So the concept of a recruitment may slowly go away. If you involve with the industries for a long time, they'll straight away take your students because they'll be involving the students from the early stage. Automatically, they know, students know the company and the industry know the students. Automatically, employment happens. In fact, in our college, many of the employment happens to the internship, whatever they do. So their worth will be known, then they are automatically taken. Of course, all these things will be helping in your outcome-based education, accreditation and ranking of the institution, and helps in quality admission. This is a cascading effect. If you do all these things, good students will come, quality will improve, results will improve. Again, the industrial symbiosis will be much better. Of course, through this faculty competency will enhance. There will be a lot of revenue generation for the institution. Then asset building happens in terms of the start of state-of-the-art equipment. Then joint publication with the industries happen. Then intellectual property rights happen. In fact, in our college, in the last 5 years, we have filed 57 patents. 43 have been published. 5 have been granted. These are all with total interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary approach. There are some students, there are some faculty, there are some industry people. All these combination is possible. Then building incubation center, and then of course you can do either the breakthrough innovation or you can do the Kaizen or the continuous improvement innovations to solve the societal problems. You can aim at the accolades and highest awards, including, you know, why we are underselling ourselves. Can you see one of our students getting a Nobel Prize in next 10 years? It may be possible. So obviously, strong industry institution symbiosis, according to me, will be helpful. It will set a path in the developing next generation for the self-reliant India or Atmanirbhar Bharat. I think that should be our focus. If you want to become a superpower or a Vishwa Guru, whatever we talk about, if you don't, according to me, industry and the education system, the two faces of the same coin. If you can try to connect this one way or the other, these kinds of benefits, both of us will get it. Our bondage becomes very good, and then you'll be the most wanted institution wherever you go for. I think this is my last slide. I hope, I don't know whether I confused, I have made some conclusion or confused you, or yeah, a lot of doubts. I'm not sure, but this is my view as how we have to proceed as an institution. And so this is the end of my talk. And if I'm sure that if anybody has got any questions and things of that sort, let us look into it. Madam, you would like to say something and then we take the things forward?
Yes, thank you so much, sir. I request participants, if you have any questions, you can ask, sir. We will unmute you. Yeah. So there's a question, how to make interactive class for technical subjects? Like how to make the class interactive for technical subjects like stats, accounts in online classes?
See, let me tell you, actually what happens is, today there are a lot of softwares. If you want to make it more interactive, according to me, less of teaching has to happen. More of work from the student has to happen. You take a mini tab, you take R programming, you take SysStat. For a statistics, I'm telling you. Give some set of problems, give the formula, ask him to solve and ask him to show on the screen. So if you try to involve like that, otherwise what happens? We keep on doing from one-way communication like this, and that will not happen. Even accounts, there are, in fact, I don't know how many of the students who are doing NBA or BBA, whatever the course who are into here, can operate a total tally software. I think if a student can learn a tally correctly, whole of his accounting principles, everything will be known. So try to get connected with these softwares and then with the human interaction, and they will come and study and come. Otherwise, what happens is you say some book you study and then they will not study at all.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any participants would like to ask any question?
Somebody has asked some questions. Let me check here.
They are saying it was a very detailed presentation. It was a very nice session.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I am Dr. Vito. Actually, I am new to this field and I want to know if I want to approach some company, for some project, how shall I go ahead? Or is there any particular section in company's website where we can go and see, what kind of a requirement they have, and accordingly we can prepare ourselves? Is there any particular section in the website of companies, sir? Is it like that? Because I want to know how we can approach them to get any kind of a project.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Ajay Pratap.
One minute. Let me answer this question. So, madam, which specialization you are?
We can
make. So I was working in Maruti itself, marketing. I'm taking marketing now, but this education field is very new for me.
Okay.
So because this kind of collaboration is needed, and I was basically
whatever I say is, see, first of all, try to look into very good works in marketing. First of all, see what are the consulting and research works you can do in the marketing area. You do that, give it to some students, and then you get confidence about whether you can solve such problems. Then write some good papers in good journals, then go and contact them. If you don't prayer work knowledge, if you don't, I think nobody will give you, madam. I think we have to do our fundamental academics very well. Over that, you should add some practical aspect. Then you go and ask them, they will give it to you.
Okay, and any section is there in the company websites, or where?
No, there is nothing like that. There's nothing like that. It depends on your specialization only.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, my name is Ajay Pratap Singh. My question is how we can make interesting virtual classes, because it is observed that virtual classes students are attending very less. But as per the curriculum, the attendees examination, they need to maintain 75% attendance. So please guide us how we can maintain it.
See, better way to do that is, in fact, same case even is not only in your institution. I think across the country, everywhere there will be problems. So, but what you can do is, now what I told in this semester to my faculty is, we have in fact 2 quizzes, which is 20 marks. Okay, I told my faculty member, do the quiz in every class, 3 to 4 questions.
Yes,
okay, if there are 40 classes, you will have 120 questions you would have given. And at the end of that 120 questions, 120 marks, convert that into 20 marks and give it.
Okay.
Now what has happened is, attendance is 100%.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, there is a question from Dr. Prabhu Shankar. He wants to know the difference, the demarcation between predictive and perspective analytics.
Prescriptive and predictive analytics.
Yeah.
Predictive and prescriptive analytics. Okay. See, as you know that there are different things. In fact, prescriptive analytics in one term or the other is the operations research. So take like that. Predictive analytics could be your descriptive statistics and all the probability modeling, starting from your let us say fundamental probability to Bayes theorem to sampling to test of hypothesis to analysis of variance. All those things come under up to design of experiments come out to predictive analytics. And prescriptive analytics is total operations operations research area, starting from, let us say, your linear programming, transportation, assignment models, dynamic programming, integer linear programming. All these are the things which come under the prescriptive analytics.
Okay, thank you, sir. So there's a question by Miss Maria. Miss Maria asks, which will be the best model for student, teacher, and college interaction? Which will be the best model for student, teacher, and college interaction?
See, there is nothing like best actually. In fact, it's only better. So there's nothing like best in this world. It's only because you do something best, somebody else will do, yours becomes better. So in that way, what I feel is the combination of the things has to happen. The offline, the online, the blended mode. So it is, in fact, I told you, the experiential way of getting connected, is the best way according to me. You get connected with the students. Of course, college is, who is college? College is yourself only. At the end of the day, college is made up of human beings. So if the faculty and the teachers join together, automatically college interaction is taken care according to me. So it depends actually based on what you're looking for through this interaction. Then you can decide what model can be applied.
Okay.
Yeah, sir, this is Dr. Maulin.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so one of the slides you explained about faculty competency and skills.
Yes.
And sometimes I see we ourselves as a faculties may not fit into all the competencies that you have mentioned, matching with all the skills that we have to possess. How do we balance it, or how do we enhance our competency and skill for effective teaching learning?
Okay, I think it's a very good question actually. So typically, let me give an example, very interesting example. In fact, German consulate had called me some 4 years back. And there is some 2 people who had come from Germany to tell about civil engineering, because they wanted to motivate students to take civil engineering. And they gave a half-an-hour talk along with the video. You know who are these 2 people? One professor was the best known civil engineer in Germany. Very senior professor who is very good in whatever you ask in civil engineering, you'll be knowing about it. Other person is a film director. Fine. These 2 people joined together because he knows theory, but film director knows how to put it in the form of a film. They took Burj Khalifa as the best example to show how to motivate students to take civil engineering. So cross-disciplinary, multidisciplinary, you need not have to all the skills you may not have, it doesn't matter. 2 to 3 people join together, you'll have different skills. Join together and try to do it. We don't want to do that actually. Any point of time, 2 faculty are teaching in the same class, please tell me. Infosys has got that concept in training. 3 people who are good in data structures. They go to the same class where 500 students are there. One person teaches, other person adds. When the problem is given, they convert into groups, and then each group, one faculty is going to take care. So this kind of a generosity among the faculty members, because we always have that kind of, hey, who is that fellow to come to my class? Who is me to check? All such things should go away. So if you can do a interdisciplinary nature, maybe a finance guy, a marketing guy, a English professor also you can take it actually. And then you take an engineer with you. I think all the skills, I'm sure that all same person may not have all the skills, but if an interdisciplinary team, if you can form, I feel it could be even teaching, learning, it is possible. Even for consulting, it is possible.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So there's a question by Ms. Priyanka. She asked where to get information regarding social science projects. More specifically, she wants to ask about tourism and how to work on it.
Oh, okay. Actually, very interesting area, tourism. In fact, see, typically what I have seen is, I don't know if I may be wrong, because people who work in the area of management, if they get tech savvy a little bit, in the sense that if you are not averse to the technology, tourism is the best field according to me. Can you take Hampi itself as one tourist spot and then make it totally digital, make a digital marketing out of that, and then try to produce a video? There is huge amount for tourism in the country today. If you take the consultancy works like this, even in Karnataka tourism, you can take it. People are ready to help you on those things. But only thing is, you should be a little bit tech savvy. Be tech savvy with your management skills. I'm sure that huge. In fact, I have put my email ID. You can contact me. I myself have a lot of projects. I can tell you about the tourism, what can be done.
Thank you, sir. So one more question. Ms. Harita Shri asks, like she wants to work on transportation models. So what kind of industry to proceed for research?
Logistics companies. Fundamentally, logistics department in any company or logistics companies itself. It could be VRL, it could be, let us say, railway services, it could be shipbuilding companies, or it could be aircraft areas or airliners. These are the areas where the logistics is helpful everywhere actually. But I'm sure that if you are in that area, that's the most lucrative area, because logistics and transportation is adding to 19% of the GDP now. And logistics and supply chain is a huge area in the country. And you just browse the things, you'll have a lot of problems. It is available already. Go to very good transportation logistic international journals or international journals on supply chain. You'll get a lot of data. Try to put that into the Indian context. Then things will be all right.
Thank you, sir. So we'll take the last question for the day for you. According to you, what is, Ms. Dr. Hemant asks, according to you, what is the futuristic implications in retail industry and logistics?
Huge kind of things are happening. See, the B2B and B2C markets with the invent of these technologies is very huge. Some of the examples could be your Ola, or could be your Swiggy's, your Flipkarts, Amazons, and then Denso, for example, or your DHL's courier services. Huge it is. Let me tell you, this is going to even percolate to the semi-urban and the rural areas. People are already working for retail industry in the rural areas with the technology. There's a huge potential. But select some specific area, start working in that, because these things have to be worked in the sectorial way. Like say you work for only healthcare sector, or you work for only, let us say, manufacturing sector, you work for airline sector. Please select the sector, because the complexities in each of the sectors are different. If you talk too much generally, nobody will give any consulting, or you can't write a good paper also. If you have a generalist, you have to little bit depth wise, you have to go into one sector, get experience in one sector, then you can move into the other sector after 3 years.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
So may I?
Yeah. Yes, sir. You can ask your question, Hemant, sir. Just a moment.
Good afternoon, Dr. Subramanian, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, it was really a wonderful session. I, being an engineer and being a trainer in fashion industry, and as well as in design thinking and all that, previously I worked for NIFT, one of the top-notch institution in India.
Yeah.
In fact, after listening to your sessions, I was, it was a reminiscence for me to think about the product design. In fact, we used to work on product designs especially looking at the societal aspects of it and all that. It was a wonderful session. This is my first one. So the second question is, sir, according to you, what is your thoughts on fuzzy logic, and the way in which artificial intelligence can take over the human interaction in the future? Or will we be able to compete with the robots and things like that? Because most of the Hollywood movies which you have come across, works with this kind of, architecture. So what is your thought on this, sir? Like whether they will take over the human interaction?
Okay, fine. I
Yeah,
understood
and
the
efficacy.
question. Yeah. See, actually what happened is when they did Industry 4.0, they thought that everything is robot, there'll be no human work.
Okay.
And even Germany, suddenly they realized that it is going to boomerang if you talk like that.
Okay.
That's why they quickly came out with the Industry 5.0.
Okay.
In Industry 5.0, they use something called a cobot. Have you heard of cobot? C-O-B-O-T. Cobot
Yes, sir,
means collaborative robots.
Okay.
I have seen a company in Germany where for all the activities, robot would not be needed. For a simple activity, why you want to invest so much on automation? So what happens is, in between two robots, there will be a human being working. So in that way, collaboration would be definitely there. Artificial intelligence will work, but at the same time, it is not so easy. But they say that by 2050, the collective intelligence of the machine may be more than the collective intelligence of the human beings. That's what they have predicted. But let us hope. But by that time, I think human mind is very smart, no? You know how to make a robot not work also. Because every brain is different. Fuzzy neural network is different. So we are smarter because at the end of the day, you are only writing algorithms for AI, no?
Right.
So I don't think it will be augmentation and collaboration. Don't think it is a threat. It will never happen.
Okay. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such a knowledge-packed session and taking out time from your busy schedule to be part of this FDP. It's a matter of great privilege and honor to have you with us today. Your presence means a lot. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I think given in the first slide about my email ID, if anybody would like to contact, I think I'll be very, very happy to help you in any way you want, because I work in the area of engineering and management and the information systems. So mine is a cross-disciplinary area. So if anybody would like to collaborate with the institution and personally with some of the faculty in our college, we'll be very, very, very happy to work with you. Okay. So thank you very much. I hope I made some kind of confusion in your mind so that please start working, because confused mind will not keep quiet. So you'll start working and something will come out after some time. Thank you very much. Namaste to all of you. Please take care of yourself and see that we beat Corona. Okay. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Dear participants, now we will be taking a short lunch break. I request you to log in by 1:55 for the third session by Mr. Yogesh Shinde, founder Bamboo India. Thank you so much, everyone. See you at 2 p.m.